Hello,
Oh,
it's
oh,
us. It's good to see everybody today. Lockmort, how
certainly.
are you today, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm excellent, except for the sun. It's trying to kill me again.
You got to get
It's
blind. They call them blinds,
well, I
curtains.
live in like an old bank church building. So there's like I live in like a little chapel,
Mm,
and I have no sun all day. It's perfect, except on this time, except at like 7 o'clock. Then there's the sun blaring everywhere. But
got to get sunnies on.
well, yeah, but I could do that. But it's also gonna go away in like 10 minutes,
Yeah,
and then I'll be fine.
yeah.
Then I'll be good. But how are you?
I'm good. It's nice to see you. It's good to be here with you today. We got
Thanks.
together a little early to get everything going, and we did run into some technical issues, but we figured it out. We
Yes.
did. We figured it
Yes.
out. And I figured now is the time to kind of get into like having a guest. We did I did the two solo streams. I did one
Yeah.
solo stream with no on-screen chat and I think no like browser. Then we're growing a little bit, right? Then we did the stream where it was me, but then I had the browser going and I had the on-screen chat. Now I bring in a second person. We have the on-screen chat and the browser. We are adding slowly but surely to whatever it is we're doing here as we wait for Dustin to return.
You're doing
Um,
wonderful. Wonderful.
did you have a nice weekend?
Yes. Did I have a nice one? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, I had a great weekend. I played a lot of games, but I can't really talk about them because I had to sign like a. Now I know how you feel because I'm playing something that I can't talk about.
Oh, interesting.
But it was fun. I had a great weekend. No, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of work too, but it was great. Except it's so hot here in Europe. Like the sun is just it won't stop. It won't go away. And it's very annoying. So I don't want to go outside. But other than that, it's been great. How about you have a pool? That's
I do
better.
have a pool, yeah. But it's so hot out that it's hard to go in the pool. But actually, it's been fine. It's been in the 80s the last few days. But let me see here. I'll give you a little taste of what's coming up this week.
Oh,
Uh, I don't know if this will come. Well, I'll just say it. So Tuesday, tomorrow, 90, 95, 99, 100, 98,
oh,
94.
that's
That
yeah,
gets us through through Sunday.
that's exactly what it is here too. But I can deal with it. I can deal with it as long as it goes away again. That's what people always love the summer, right? Like
Mhm.
when you're in high school, when you're doing everything, you love people love the summer. But I've always hated the summer because I don't like that the light is always shining in my face. It's so bright too. I like the dark.
Yeah, I like the dark as well.
Mm,
Um, I like summer wears. I was actually talking to my nephews about this at a party. I'm like, summer kind of wears its welcome out after a while. Like when I was in school, because I was asking
yeah.
him, I'm like, you're not in the zone yet of being bored, but you'll be bored soon. And
Yes.
everyone kind of understands that. Like by mid to late August, we would go back after Labor Day on Long Island. I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. Like this
Yeah.
this has got to be done. Close the pool, put the sun away, bring in the falling leaves and all the rest. I can't.
Yes.
But that's the case with every season, I think, especially summer and winter. Like I love winter for a while, and then I'm like, all right, enough. It's enough.
Well, people, do you get like depressed in the winter? A lot of people get depressed in the winter.
I'm
I
depressed
get
all
that.
year, so can't relate to that. Yeah,
I get that in the summer. Like a lot of people get depressed when it's like dark when they wake up and dark when they go home from work. But I personally like that. I
yeah,
don't like it when it's like light at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.
right. I've never related to that. They always say that about Scandinavian countries that like it's like kind of a sad state up there during half the year because the sun, you don't get a lot of
Mm,
light or whatever in northern Russia and Alaska and places in Canada or whatever. But I've never really been affected depressionally by the seasons. I'm just kind of always depressed. Like
oh,
no matter if it's sunny out and beautiful or if it's raining and cloudy and thundering, doesn't really
oh,
affect me. But I know lots of people like that. I think Micah kind of feels like that where she like needs sunlight. And I'm like, I really can't relate. I would be totally fine in one of those Scandinavian countries or in Alaska where it's just fucking nighttime all the time.
yeah.
But then you have the daytime all the time, and that's a whole nother thing going on with that as well. The other side of the year, as the Earth tilts. You understand?
Well, yeah.
You
That's
understand?
that's what you and I believe. A lot of
Right,
people don't believe the
right,
Earth
right,
tilts,
right.
but that is true.
It's
That,
tilted,
that is true.
tilted like this, just a little
Mm,
bit. It spins like this.
mm.
It's like this. Well, it's so good to see you. It's so good to see your head, your bald head. I want to touch it.
Oh well, well, yeah, you can. We haven't met. I think. Well, yeah, we haven't met yet in person, but we will at some
Have
point.
you
I'm
met
sure.
any of the other guys?
I'm about to meet Maddie and Ka because they're going to Germany for
Oh, for
what's it
Gamescom?
called? For Gamescom. Yeah,
You're
and
going to
last year.
Gamescom, or are they coming to Belgium to see you?
No, they're coming. They're coming to here. I can't go to Gamescom because I'm working for you. I have to. I have to
Oh, you don't want to
be here.
say that, but you don't want to. Gamescom's horrifying. You know.
I I'm using you as an excuse.
Oh yeah,
You're
good,
right.
good. Yeah,
Don't tell that. Don't tell
Gamescom is
them.
horrifying. Like Tokyo Game Show is the same way, but the advantage with Tokyo Game Show was there's a whole media apparatus where like the show goes on for like 3 days with no one on the floor, so you just do whatever you want, and then they let everyone in, and by that point you're gone. Gamescom operates a little bit differently, and I've been to Gamescom twice, and I've never, and that it was a long time ago. I haven't been to Gamescom since I was in the Gamescom in the PS3 era, and it was a massive humanity unlike I've ever seen. But what I said about the Colin Messa in Cologne is it is a massive building. Like it is fucking huge. Like I couldn't even believe how big that place was because we had exhibitor badges, so we would have early access to the show, but the show doesn't start. But I would just walk around, and I'm like, this place is fucking. I don't even know like why this place is so big, but then hundreds of thousands of people. It's fucking gnarly. You don't want to be any part of Gamescom.
No, I believe it. Well, how many times have you been there?
2 Gamescoms and 2 Tokyo Game Shows. Yeah.
But do you like adventure into Germany or not, or did you just stay?
No, I stayed in Cologne, but I said before that I do have a regret of Andrew Goldfarb, who I went with one year, who works at Sucker Punch now, has worked there for years.
Yeah.
He wanted like the day we had like one more day, and then we were going back to England, and then we were going to fly back to the States, and he was like, let's take a train to Paris. And I was like paranoid that we would not get back in time, and I'm like, you have to understand, I can't be in Europe any more than I'm supposed to be. So like we can have no accidents. Like we can, and I'm like, it's too risky. I just want to get the fuck out of here. And
I get it. Yeah.
Europe is now. I've been to Europe 3 times. I've only been to the UK, Germany, and Iceland.
Oh,
And
that's sweet. Yeah.
it's fine. I want to get back to Britain to see more of it, like do more touristy things if I can.
Really?
I'll have to wear an anti-stab vest and cover up my arm tattoos. But I want to go and go see the Stonehenge, and there's a few things in England I want to see. You know, I want to go to Downton Abbey, like we said.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We have The Rock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the guy singing you one. Yeah, I remember.
There we
That's
go.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. Got The Rock.
Well, have you? Do you want to go to Ireland, like where your family's from?
Not really. The Irish don't seem to like us very much. Also, no one in Europe really seems to like us very much. But actually, I do. My dad's always wanted to go to Ireland, and we do have family. Like I've said this, but so my Italian side is actually much more recent to the States. We came in the 1930s, but there's like no connection to the home country. We're from Sicily specifically, and I don't know if anyone even really knows what's going on over there anymore. But the Irish side, the Moriartys or the Muratas, came over in the 1850s, and there's still massive connections between the two sides, between parts of my family and people that are still over there. So there are people that like want us to go and like have always tried to draw us there and visit or whatever. And my dad has always wanted to go, and I feel like no one will ever go with him. So I probably will volunteer at some point to go with him to Ireland. Again, I'll have to wear an anti-stab vest.
In Ireland, too? Ireland.
No, there I'll have to wear like Fat Man's anti-explosive suits just in case the IRA comes back in any sort of way.
Oh, the poor Irish. Ireland is beautiful. I used to go as a kid. I used to go there every year with my parents. I love Ireland. It's probably my favorite country in the entire world. It's so beautiful there. People are fantastic. People are lovely. UK or England is fine too. Wales is beautiful too. Scotland is beautiful too. Yeah, you should make like a trip out of it. I always tell Dustin, like if you ever come to Europe, just make a trip out of it because everything is so close by. You can get from England to where I live in like an hour and a half by train.
You go through the Channel.
Yes.
Yes. What a mistake that was, huh? Why would Britain voluntarily connect themselves to the continent that's kept them that channel's kept them safe for so many years? I was reading recently about Operation Sea Lion, which was the Nazi planned attack on Britain, like the land invasion, and how impossible it was. Like that they like couldn't figure out how to really do it. And now they're like, well, we'll just build a tunnel under the water, and it'll bring you right to London. Yeah.
That Yeah, that is true. But you can't really walk in the tunnel. It's like literally there's a train in there. Like you can't really because I think all the refugees still go by water. I don't think any of them.
No, they don't. I'm just busting balls. Yeah, no, they go by dinghy.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah, I want to get back to Europe at least one more time. I don't think now is the time to do it for many different reasons, but
of course.
But yeah, you're right. Like I need to see more of the continent. I'm extremely well traveled by American standards.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, and I don't know how you feel about this. You've never been to the States, right? Oh, you've been to the States. You have been to the States.
I've been there.
Yeah, you've been to the States. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like American travel is a little underrated. Like traveling between the states of the United States is like traveling from Portugal on the far west coast to like Belarus or something like that. You know, like that level of space. And it's like, it's a little shitty for people like in Europe, especially, to have their nose up in the air. It's like to go from Belgium to the Netherlands to Germany, hop to Denmark. Like this is like me going across New England. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You know, which I would do to play hockey in a day. So I do feel like a lot of it's like all right, you know, I get it. We don't travel a lot. We don't really care. Right? We sometimes we go to Cabo and we say we've been overseas.
Is it the problem like your connections there? Because here everybody goes by train, right? At least that's what people keep telling me. I don't know if this is true. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But your train network isn't as sophisticated or isn't as expansive as our train network. Like I can grab a train and go into any country I want to right now. But if you grab a train where you are, you probably can only go to 2 or 3 places. Or is that not true?
You can get anywhere to anywhere with a train, but it's completely circuitous and ridiculous, and no one would do that. It could take you weeks. Yeah. So like there's the Acela on the East Coast, which is like connects like where I'm from or where I live right now up to like, you know, Washington, D.C. It's like all the power broker kind of like a lot of people do that, but it's very regional. You have the BART system in the Bay Area, which is like their local train station. We have the Long Island Railroad where I'm from, which is a great, you know, it actually kind of sucks, but it's the only way you can get in and out of the city. And but like none of them are interconnected, and you don't like the thing about America is you don't travel like that here. And I think that's kind of anathema to the European mind. It's like people travel by car, or you fly. And who the fuck wants to sit in like I can get to California in 5.5 hours by plane, or I can take the train there. Like, are you? What is this? The Orient Express or something? Like I don't know. Like what am I? Why would I want to be in the fucking on this fucking train for like 2.5 weeks? Oh, well, that's part of. I got to California. Vacation's over. Got to go home now.
But that's part of the trip, right? Like if you have like a train where the train is your hotel, basically. That's how people do it here anyway. Sometimes, like in Russia, they do it that way. There's this train that goes all the way from Belgium to China through Russia and all those countries. So that's pretty cool. You have like your moving hotel room, no?
No, it is cool. I mean, it is cool. I watch Bald and Bankrupt on YouTube. He's like one of my favorite YouTubers, and he's I don't know if you know a lot of people probably know him, and he does a lot of stuff in Eastern Europe and a lot of like the developing world. And he took a trains like through India or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? I'll reserve my commentary. The amount of money you would have to pay me to do that, like to go to these places, is astronomical. Not Eastern Europe. Eastern Europe seems quite quaint and nice. You know?
Yeah, it's beautiful there. It's beautiful. People are so nice too.
But man,
Eastern Europe is awesome.
Some of these fucking places, I'm like, oh my god, like oh my god, clean up.
Well, of course, but that's the same. That's the same for every country, right? Like if you go to places in LA, or if I watch images from LA, I'm also like, oh my god, what's going on there? So. Of course, if you see like only the bad stuff on YouTube, then yeah, of course. But it's not all like that. Like Eastern, what country specifically were you talking about? Like
in Eastern Europe, I mean, like really all of them. So like I think he was recently in like he literally just went to the final one that he needed to go to in his video series. So I watched literally all of them. Like every ex-Soviet republic. But I think he was recently. I think maybe he didn't, or one of the last ones he went to was like Moldova or whatever. But there's like problems there because they're having like a civil war, and I think the Russians are kind of starting to claim trying to claim some of their territory. But I think he ended in, well, he got banned in Belarus. He did like Latvia recently, and then he would start getting into like weird like Kazakhstan and like things that like more in the Asian steppes and stuff like that. So yeah, like literally all of them. And what's interesting about him, because is like he's like a polyglot. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Like he can speak a little bit of everything. And Micah and I were talking about it. Like he was in the military, but like he doesn't really speak about it. I'm like, he must have been like an intelligence like guy or something. Like there's no way that this dude just seems, he is so comfortable everywhere. He doesn't give a, for people that don't know what's funny about him, because a lot of people do these travel logs and it's cool. I don't really watch a lot of that stuff. What he does is he like goes to some random place with like a backpack and no plan.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just going to get in this cab, go to this place, meet this random person, go have dinner at their house. And he just does that for days. And it's like, fuck. And it's like so ballsy and interesting. And he's just having a great time. And to me, I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. And I feel that way in like in the first world countries that I go to, like after a week in Iceland, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking lose it if you don't get me out of this place,
because you want to go home or because of the place itself.
Yeah, I want to go home.
Okay,
like,
sure.
The second I leave my house to go somewhere, I want to go home. Like before I even get on the plane to go to where I'm going, I'm like, when am I getting home? Like when I used to travel for IGN all the time and I would go overseas, it's like I would like have in my mind like, how long is this?
Yeah.
And like I'd be counting down the hours. And it would also ruin like a week or two before I had to go. It would be ruined. I'd be like, I got to get this fucking trip over with. And it's like, I'm not good at it. With the sad part, when I interviewed the guys from Housemarque recently, they've always invited me to go to Finland. They've invited me many times. They wanted to pay for me to go there and all the rest. And I'm like, it's a shame that I didn't take you guys up on that, because when I tell you I could have probably gone to 25 more countries for free, no problem. This always pisses Dustin off because I always tell him Bandai Namco, who I had a great relationship with because I was a big Tales guy. They every year, I think for like 9 years, they were like, "Do you want to come to Japan and go to Tales Fest?" And I'd be like, "No." But thank you for inviting me. No, I don't. The only reason at IGN we would go is it was kind of your turn, where it's like,
sure, yeah, you had to, yeah. No, I get it. I get it. You get like homesick, right? That's what you get, right?
Yeah, it's like I like my space. I know people roll their eyes at this, but like you know about this. Like back in the day, people used to go on the grand tour, right?
Yeah.
They would like graduate from college. Maybe they would have a sweetheart. They would marry when they get home, and they would just leave for like a year. Yeah. And that was like when they would be like, I'm going to see as much as I can see, and then I know I'm going to be in this place. And you understand that in a I don't want to say a pre-literate society, but a society that doesn't have any sort of informational access, really. Yeah. I really do feel like traveling is cool and it's fun and people have always done it. I actually like reading, this is fucking nerdy as hell. There are a shit ton of like travel logs, like books people wrote in the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries about their travels. Like think about de Tocqueville, but like something much more obscure than that. And they're like all over the internet. You can just read them and they're fascinating. These people's stories about all the things that they do. But I'm like, I can just, first of all, I live in the United States. It's completely geodiverse here. There's nothing in the world that we don't have here. We have the Arctic tundra. We have the fucking hottest desert in the world. We have, and everything in between. It's like, so I've seen mountains. I've seen snow-capped mountains. I've seen beautiful tropics. I've seen beautiful islands. I've seen volcanoes. I've seen, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, I'm good. I have the internet. I mean, what? So I'm going to go to, it was, I'm not going to, don't get me wrong. Going to Japan is a lot different than reading about it. And being there, of course, is a lot, it's exciting, but I don't feel like I'm missing out necessarily. The way that a person, say, in 1780 doing the Grand Tour, explaining the Roman ruins to their friends who will never leave from 15 yards from their house and they can't read. You know what I mean?
It's different, of course. Yeah, you've seen way more than they do, but it's still very different being in a place and like experiencing it by yourself than just seeing it on the internet. Like somebody, who is this? A Thunder Boy just said, I can see the pyramids on the internet. That's true, but being there, it's like very imposing. It's like you get a feeling, you get like you've studied history. Like you should love this. Like if you, for instance, if you would come to where I live, I would take you to the woods and you can find like bullets from like World War II.
Oh my God, it would be so exciting. That'd be so exciting. Yeah. No, I love that. I do love that stuff. And I've done a lot of that stuff in the States, right? Like I've been to basically all of the major Revolutionary War and Civil War battlefields in certain states long ago. You know, I even did the thing where I think it's in Saving Private Ryan, where like one of the guys is like collecting dirt as he goes.
Yes,
I bought like a case of baby food, and I dumped all the baby food out, and I have like things of dirt in like my attic, or I think it's actually at my mom's house, of like Yorktown, Gettysburg, you know, all the major, you know, Fredericksburg,
that's awesome.
Manassas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bunker Hill, like that kind of stuff. So I do understand that, and that was the history I studied, so I did get to see it. There is a lot that I would like to see. So World War II history, you were bringing this up, is and World War One, all in the same kind of places, is really interesting, and I would love to see that stuff. The bummer is that the Nazi history stuff, very similar to the Confederate history stuff where I live. I live near the Confederate capital. There's a lot of Confederate. I live 5 minutes from Jefferson Davis Highway. Okay.
Oh.
So it's like I want to see the Nazi shit, but they got rid of all of it. You know
what I mean? A friend of mine last year, what is it? He went to the Eagle's Nest. You know what that is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Hitler's big
the
mansion.
Berghof or whatever they would call it, right?
Yeah. And he said it was one of the most beautiful things he has ever seen. It's hard to talk about, of course, because people will take it out of context, but the design of that place is so magnificent, and the way it's up there in the hills, and the way you have to go up by elevator. There's also not like a ton of tourists, of course, because a lot of people are shameful to go there. But the whole story about that castle up there, and then the little mining village down there, and what happened to those people, it's like a video game.
It's Wolfenstein, and yeah, like I know, like for instance, like the Fuhrer bunker. Like I understand all of these things they got rid of because they were afraid they were going to become like neo-Nazi, like sites, right? And I get that. And the funny thing is like we didn't really do that with the Confederacy. And then there really is a, like, you know, I don't know if it's like a half an hour or 45 minutes where I live. There's when you drive down the highway, it's literally, you know who Stonewall Jackson is? Do you know that name?
You've met, through you.
He's a Confederate general. He died during the war. He died in 1863. There's a huge sign and it says Stonewall Jackson Shrine. Next right. And I'm like, okay. You know, we have universities named after Confederate generals and all these, and U.S. military bases, although they've been doing a lot about that recently. So it's like, I'm 6 of 1 on it, where I'm like, I understand, and obviously Nazi, Confederate history is pretty bad too, but it's like kind of a bummer for future generations that they can't really see that kind of stuff. But on the other hand, you understand why they just felt like they needed to steamroll over all of it. But you'd think you would kind of want to stunt on them a little bit, right? Like you won. You're literally, it's a tour group at the fucking Fuhrer bunker. All right. I think they lost, you know,
we still have places like Auschwitz, of course, is still there. And you can still get history there, of course. So they still have like these big monumental things you can still visit, or in Amsterdam, like Anne Frank's house is still there. It's also not all of it is that long ago. When you think about it, it's only been 80 years. Well, what is it now? 90 years, 80 years? Yeah. That always scares me to think about, because we're both 40 or in our early 40s, right?
Yeah. How old are you? 40 flat?
41.
Oh,
41.
Me too. What? Wait, you were born in 84?
Yeah. April.
So you're a little older than me. Interesting. October.
Ooh. There you go.
October. Yeah, good.
That always scares me when you think about that, because 40 years ago, right, in the 80s, 40 years before that was when the war was happening. That always freaks me out, because when you talk about World War II, it's like, oh, that was hundreds of years ago. I don't know anything about it. I wasn't alive back then. Nobody cares. That's like long forgotten history, but it's not been that long.
No. What's funny about World War II is around the time of obviously Saving Private Ryan and then Band of Brothers, those guys were getting really old, but they were alive. And then time just kind of, obviously as it does, marches. And they're all dead. And there really does feel like, or like they're in their late 90s at their earliest. And it's like the connectivity of that era is getting loosened. And I've watched that happen in my own lifetime. But I just, you know, the other thing about travel is that, and I see a lot of people criticize this, so I don't want to act like it's an original thought, although I feel this way about a lot of things. It becomes people's personalities. It's like, oh, I like to travel. Cool, yeah. I travel. And I'm like, all right. Like, I guess that's cool. But I don't think it really I think it gives people special insight in some way. Like the fact that I've been to Japan a couple times allows me to speak about it with a little bit more authority than a person who's never been there. Right. But then again, it's like, as I've talked about for many years, like I've studied Nazi Germany incredibly deeply. Right. Like it's outside of American history. It's like the most fascinating thing in history to me. And it's like, so you visited Germany and you went to Berlin and you did all these things or whatever and saw some stuff. And it's like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you know it. right?
No, that's
So it's
true.
like I think
Yeah.
sometimes people use it as an excuse as well to be like, well, to like give them, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just like, do what you want. I don't give a shit. I'm sure I'll go I think it's easy for me to say because it's like what I say about college, where I'm like, it's easy for me to say this. I went to college. But you shouldn't go to college probably unless you really know what you're, like it's this, it's kind of a similar thing. It's like, well, who the fuck, like, it's like, I've been to many places around the world. You shouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it comes off a little bit
No,
hypocritical.
I also get it from your point of view because I think the best place I've ever visited, and I want to go back as soon as I can, is the U.S. I think that's
Of course it is.
the most fun country I've ever been to, or the most different culturally, maybe too. Well, no, that's not true. You've got Japan, but I will never go to Japan. But places like the US, I remember arriving in LAX, the doors opening, and everything is huge. It's like it completely blew my mind how big everything is over there, and how nice the people are, and how
Everyone says that we're
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
And I'm
that's
like,
true.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, I try to be friendly to everyone, but it is interesting. Like, I don't know what people think we're like over here. It's what I always say about guns. It's like they think like everyone has guns, right? Like you're rarely going to meet someone that doesn't own a gun, shoot guns, go to the gun range, shot fucking crazy ass shit. I was taught how to shoot a gun when I was like 7 years old, a shotgun nonetheless. I always tell that story. I love that story. Like it's like my dad holding my shoulder as I'm shooting it so that like I don't fucking break my collarbone. But it's like I think people think it's like a Wild West thing where it's like you're gonna get shot. You're gonna see people strapped up on. It's like, no, you'll be fine.
Sure.
Like you'll be fine. Is there a lot of gun violence? Yeah, there is. But you'll be fine. It'll be okay. I think and I think people have these perception issues about everywhere in the world. I would love to have you back. You should come back to the States, fly into Washington, and come stay with us for a little while.
Oh,
If you
sure.
like, you're
Yeah,
very welcome.
yeah.
You're very welcome here.
I'd love to do that. Yeah, definitely. I will definitely come back. I've been looking for a couple of years now, but then the same COVID, and then this happened, and then my dad and stuff. So there's always been an excuse. But now I also just want to get out of here. Like it's becoming unaffordable here. So I think for a lot of people, a lot of my friends too are looking to move abroad in the next couple of years. But yeah, I'll definitely come visit you. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah, I would love to have. I mean, I want eager American. I was saying this last week about immigration. It's like I love the idea that everyone from around the world wants to come and be American, and I actually think that is part of what it is to be American. Is buying into it. The problems we have are people doing it obviously illegally, and people that just don't even like the country. It's like, why would you even come here if you don't like us and don't want to be here? Like,
sure,
but like, a new stream of people is good, and it would be fun. It would be fun for you to come and try to be here for a little while because like it's funny, man. It's funny to talk to a European like earnestly. It's like there's so much hostility towards us, and
well, that's also your perception, right? Because why do you think that? Is that where do you see that?
everywhere. I mean, but it's not recent. It's like my whole life.
Okay.
Like there is like this thing of. I mean, it's gotten worse, but. And it's ebbed and flowed,
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know where you stand with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool having this autarky in the United States where we just don't interact with the rest of the world at all, if that's what we have to do. But you kind of wonder what time it is with everyone right now. And I feel like in the opposite direction, I'm like, I think that the commonality with Americans feel a lot of different ways because like we like you guys, we're worried about you. I think that's a major kind of thing, and it comes off as in the other direction patronizing or patronizing depending on how you want to say it. So, I think Americans don't understand how much we need the rest of the world to buy in to what we do. And in all ways, I'm not saying politically or even militarily, I'm saying like culture, entertainment. And I don't think the rest of the world realizes how much it needs America. And I think it's a dance that has been going on for generations and will go on long after we're gone, I assume. And it's complex.
You're the great experiment. To a lot of Europeans, you are the experiment that worked. Um, I think a lot of people, including myself, still have this viewpoint of America. Like, if you want to make it, you go to America, um, which has been going on for hundreds of years now, or 250 years, I guess. But I love the US. I've been there a bunch of times. I always want to go back. It's a crazy, awesome, wonderful country. And like you said, there's so much stuff to do there. I went to New York. I went to the Grand Canyon. I've always wanted to go to Minnesota. I don't know why, but I feel like the stuff I see there with like the openness of that state looks amazing. I've always wanted to go to Alaska too. Um, the only place I never want to go back to is Louisiana because I nearly
Oh,
oh
them good old boys.
not because of the people, but the humidity there is
Oh
just
yeah, no, it's fucking brutal down there, dude. Like I live in
yeah.
the north south, like I always say. It's both the capital of the Confederacy, but also the most northern state in the South. So it is not. It's bad down here. Like I was saying, it's gonna be 100 degrees this week. But you go for people, that, especially outside the country or that have never been down there. You go to like Florida, you go to the Delta, shit like that, like you were, and it's like I really don't even know how people lived there. I feel that way about this. It's like George Washington was on Mount Vernon, in Virginia, in wool. Fucking everyone was wearing wool. Pantaloons. Come on.
I would die.
I don't understand that. Now, there is another side to things too, which is, there are a lot of other places around the world to travel other than Europe and the United States. But it seems like it's funny how globalization has brought in such interpersonal hostilities between people that I guess once you are on it's what I think it's what a lot of World Cup travelers have discovered about America is once you just cut through it, it's like, oh, this place is kind of great. And people are nice to me and no one really has a problem with you. Like a lot of people are proud to be American. So they like it when people come in and experience their culture, especially in these random ass places that they're going, which is awesome. Like to see that, you can like Kansas City is probably the most obscure place we're playing. They're playing games, and that's still a really big city in Missouri, but people are driving between these places. And so they're really seeing like the true texture of Americana, which I think is fun for everyone to see.
But that's what I mean though, because that's what happened to those people too, right? Like they went to the US thinking it would be horrible and they would hate them, but they don't. Like if you don't listen to people online or don't listen to YouTube and you just go to places, it's always better in real life. Like it's always nicer, more beautiful. The food is yummier. A lot of the problems you see on Twitter or YouTube normal people don't really care about them. Like I'm sure if I would go to the US right now, a lot of my friends would have the perception of like, oh, you're gonna get into political fights because they're gonna have a civil war. And I'm pretty sure that if I do go now there, I won't be in any fights. It'll be completely fine. So don't you think that's also part of it? Like online perception has maybe skewed people's opinion about countries they're not really that bad or that horrible.
Yeah, I think I feel that way. That's happening a lot with Europe specifically recently. I always bust balls, obviously, about Europe, but I've said before, like I love Europe, like especially Great Britain, we are cousins. Yeah. We're really more like siblings with the British, and we're like cousins with Europe, and I want us to get along. Like we are the most natural of allies. We share kind of a culture.
Sure,
we share a lingua franca. We share a bunch of different stuff. And I feel that way about the Five Eyes countries, like in Australia and New Zealand. I feel that way about a lot of non-English speaking places too. Like I always speak very fondly of Mexico and Japan.
Yes.
Canada, I think, is kind of losing the plot a little bit, but they'll hopefully come back around soon. And maybe we'll take a couple of their provinces to just polish it up a little bit and check them a little bit.
Oh no.
But it's the one thing I will say about Europe that I think is true is that cuts through the perception is that I'm shocked when I look at the numbers and like just see things. It's like Europe really does seem like it is getting poor in some ways.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's shocking to me when I remember being a kid and kind of first becoming aware of like things that young Colin became aware of currency exchange and stuff like that, and like how advantageous it was to own a British pound or a euro or whatever. And it's still a good thing, but it's like there does seem to be a growing, in the last 20 years, a growing discrepancy in money that makes parts of Europe seem like it's like, and that's what I was saying earlier. It's like we're a little worried. It's like, well, why is this happening? And I think a lot of it is like energy related and watching, Germany stab itself in its stomach with its nuclear power plants and cut off its nose to spite its face and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. So there is like so culturally, Europe's top notch, in my opinion, and always has been. We owe everything to them culturally. So, financially, economically, it's like, that's why I think a lot of people in the United States are starting to look towards Asia, because it's like, well, that's where the money is.
That is where the money is, yeah. But we're noticing that too. Look, I can only speak about myself and my friends, of course, because it's all anecdotal. So don't take it as gospel, of course. But I remember before COVID, like 5 or 6 years ago, or let's say 10 years ago, for ease, I could live off of one job. I could buy food, I could afford rent, internet, utilities, everything, and still have like, let's say $400 or $500 left at the end of the month, right? Now, these days, I have to work at least 2 full-time jobs, and I'm not able to afford anything. I'm barely able to afford rent. I'm barely able to afford internet or utilities, and I haven't even received my electric bill yet. So that's gonna be fun. But I also know families, like friends of mine, who aren't able to afford everything anymore. They got an electric bill of like $6K, and normally that electric bill is like $100 bucks, $200.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't know what you guys are going to do.
We're dying. Well,
I don't know what's
dramatic, but
and this is what I was saying about, like, I was making fun of things with defense last week, where I was like, the United States is basically the Europe's military, and if we pull back on that, which I think we're going to over the decades to come, obviously, and I think it's time. It's like that's going to make the problem much more acute, because you never even have to worry about that. And if you feel like you have a hostile neighbor in Russia, and I don't think Russia's going to invade Europe, but a lot of Europeans do. And I just think that would be insane. Like, to me, I'm just like, I don't know why he rolls into Latvia and and it like, what do you think's going to happen?
It's like fear mongering. Yeah.
So, but like, it's like, if you're afraid of those kinds, I really do worry, because I'm like, I think we both have to do well for us to be okay. Like, and I don't know. It's an interesting thing, but I got to get back to the original thing. It's like, I got to get back to Europe at some point, and
yes,
and I think that would be a lot of fun. And I love Europe has what the United States just simply won't have for many centuries, which is age. And there's something about being in those places, like even in just when I was in Cologne or whatever, and it's like just having a coffee outside on the street. It's like, this is now this place was completely leveled by the American military during the war, so it's not like anything is really truly old, but it just felt old. It felt spiritually connected to the land in a way that the United States just isn't yet, because it's just not old, and that was really fun for me, for being, the few places I got. Like in Cologne, I did some tours where, like, you see some old Roman ruins, and and cool, you go to the cathedral, and you do a few of these odds and ends, and it's like, this is just really, there's just nothing like this. Like, for where Mike is from in New England, that's like basically the oldest part of the country, and she actually lives in a house from the 19th century. Her parents do, but it's like, but that, which is rare in the United States, but there are even older houses there, and it's like, but that's where you have to be. And that's why I always thought it was so funny in California. It's like everything was so new. Even the old stuff from like the post-war era, it's like, this is still only 70 years old.
It's so big there too. That's the thing that always that still blows my mind. I'll never forget getting out of the airport for the first time and seeing like your highways have like 8 lanes or 9 lanes. Our highways are like 2 lanes, and they're small lanes. Everything is so huge there. It's incomprehensible if you've never seen it in person and you've only seen it on TV. Like me, the first time when I got there, it's insane. It's so big. It's so, like, your mind just can't comprehend how huge everything is there. And then the people are still normal. Like, everything is still normal like it is over here. But it's just the highways, the food, the buildings, everything is so much bigger than it is over here, and I never understood why. I love it, but I never understood why.
Yeah,
Why is it so big?
yeah, I think it did attract people from all over the world, and they really did take this idea of like manifest destiny to the maximum degree, and really did like the bravest and craziest amongst us just kept going west. You know,
Sure.
even Lewis and Clark, it's so interesting when you think about that. Like they were just gone for like a few years, and then they came back and they had like all this information, and
Yeah.
it's people say it, and I think some people find it cringy and some people don't. Is like I'm a fiercely proud American. I'm not necessarily a patriotic American because I'm not really proud of our government or a lot of the things are about it. Like, and I'm not talking about Trump or anything like that. I'm just like, generally speaking, I just think everything's kind of broken and fucked up. And
Yeah.
but like America as an institution, our people, our culture, like the melting pot of it. And I know that's not that's a very in vogue thing to say these days. Like everyone's like, well, the melting pot kind of failed or whatever. I'm like, not really. I think actually like, the melting pot started failing when it stopped melting. And I think a lot of Americans don't realize how good we have it. And I think that when you see people come over here and they're surprised by things you take for granted, and we take it all for granted, I think that that's a wake up call, hopefully, for a lot of people, that we have it really good. And like we talk about our military and all these kinds of things, but it's like our level of cultural dominance is completely unprecedented in America in world history. There's like you can't buy that level of soft power. Like everything runs through the United States, and it's crazy. Like to the point where China started making parallel infrastructure from GPS all the way to their search engines and everything in between because they needed to separate from that because it was just too culturally powerful. Like I was joking around a couple of weeks ago where I was saying like an American could conceivably cut himself off from almost any country in the world with few ramifications. There are things you're missed. Like if I cut myself off from Denmark, I'll lose Spotify or something or whatever the fuck, you know. But it's like if an outsider cuts themselves off from America, it's like you're done. What are you going to do? Well, you know, and like, and I'm not saying they would do that. Yeah. I'm saying from a hypothetical like cultural power position, it's like there's something we just take for granted about that. That like when you search for something on the internet in any part of the world, you're using, except for China, you're using Google. You're on Twitter. You're watching YouTube right now on your Apple iPhone. You know, that level of soft power is enormous, and that's what makes America powerful. So that's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of our output, if that makes any sense.
Well, sure. No, that makes perfect sense. Although I will say, I think a lot of those companies like Apple, like they kind of outgrew countries. I feel like they're countries of their own at this point. Like Apple, like Google, like Alphabet, like all those companies really aren't. Do you still see them as like American based?
I see them. Well, I do, but I also see them as they're like city states on a civilization map, where it's like, where they actually like they are so powerful in and of themselves. They are multinational, international, like truly permeative companies, and that make more money than almost every country in the world, each of them by themselves. So like they're American, but that's part of American culture, I think, is having these for better or for worse, by the way, is having these institutions that are just crazy levels of big and powerful. But yeah, this is what I was saying earlier, right? Locke, is like, we don't appreciate how much we rely on the rest of the world to buy our shit. And that level of soft power only comes in if people adopt the things we do. You know, that's why permanent monopolies in the tech age are so interesting, and America being there first just means that they have cultural power that will be unbreakable. These companies will exist in 100 years. They might be offshore, like maybe Facebook reincorporates on a fucking man-made island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean so they don't have to answer to anyone. That's the kind of dystopic fucking future you're looking forward to here in the United States. But...
Well, if you could pick any country, let's say you can't live in the US anymore.
Yeah.
Right? You had to pick one country in the entire world. Which one would you pick? Where you relocate? You have to live there now for the rest of your days.
Probably Canada. I mean, but that's such a cop out. Yeah, like
let's say
overseas.
Not North,
right.
Exactly.
It would probably be either Australia or the UK. But I wouldn't really want to. the UK's got to figure it out. Like it's hard to watch from the outside, and I hope that, like, they got to just sort it out over there, because I'm rooting for them more than anyone.
Sure.
Australia is very attractive to me. I've always wanted to go, but it's just so fucking far away. Like, nowhere is worth traveling. I would go to the moon maybe or something, but not to fucking, spend a day in an airplane to go to Australia. But yeah, like some English speaking country that is America adjacent would be the easiest. If I had to go to a non-English speaking country, it would probably be something like Mexico or Japan.
Sure.
And then if it was like a European country, I don't feel like anyone likes us. So it's like, I don't know that I'd really be welcome in any of those places, But
we do, though. That's like their perception. Well, what? Okay, the French maybe don't like you.
Oh, I would never move to France, so they don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's. I would move to like half of Africa's countries before I moved to fucking France.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, but you even see it in Mexico, because there's like a huge expat community there now, because you can work it for American wages in this remote world now and live in Mexico City and fucking live like a king, in a pretty metropolitan, fairly safe place. And you even see a lot of this shit there bubbling where it's like, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, oh, you don't like that when people are in your country and they don't belong there? It's interesting.
What do you, how do you, because you touched about it on it earlier. What do you feel about the UK right now? Because I see the same stuff you see, of course, right? And every time I see it, I feel like, oh, damn, that's horrible. But is it really that bad? I don't know. I don't know if it's really that bad. People in the audience will know probably who are from the UK, but I always wonder, because I see that stuff about my country too, like all those YouTube clips, like, oh, Belgium is horrible. I'm like, well, I mean, it's unaffordable, but it's not like I can. It's not like when I go outside, I get stabbed. It's not that bad.
Right.
So I always wonder how bad it really is.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the UK is like on the brink of like civil war, like people say, or not?
I don't think any Western country is on the brink of civil war, simply because I think the going's too good. Yeah. People always talk about that, about like civil strife and stuff. And I'm like, civil strife in the era of you being on your phone for 18 hours a day? I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, that's not the stuff that happens in first world countries in the modernity, I don't think, unless things get really bad. So I don't think it's that. I just think that it's decaying. Like, from the outside, It just looks like it's not. I know that like cost of living is a little different or whatever, but when you see per capita income stats where it's like the UK is literally poorer than every American state. And there are some poor American states like, Mississippi and New Mexico and places like that are not great compared to some of the other states that are much wealthier. And maybe like an East Germany, West Germany style kind of thing. And a lot of it, by the way, I mean, not a lot. Some of it comes from the Civil War still. I mean, if you read about the economic ramifications of the Civil War and kind of the destruction we wrought on the South, it began recovering really until after World War II, economically. Yeah. So we did fuck a lot of it up ourselves, and I understand that. But like when you see stats like that, you're like, how can that be? How can the country that contains like one of the financial capitals in London, you infuse all that money into your per capita stats and it's still lower? Like, it doesn't, it's like, that means that it's bad. And I don't know. And there seems to be from my perspective, it seems like there's no real industry anymore, and there's massive energy problems. And I just think it's too bad, because I'm really rooting for these people. Like, I want them to do well. I'm not like one of the, like, I just think like a high tide raises all boats in some way.
Yeah. No, that's true. The energy crisis really is bad. I mean, at least here, I don't know how it is in the UK, but we were completely dependent on Russian gas. And when that dropped, when the Ukraine got attacked by them, our prices like quadrupled in price, and it never went down.
I know, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's like, it's got to. This is the same thing. It's the same thing in the United States. It's got to be about nuclear power. It's got to be about renewable energies. Get solar panels on tops of your buildings. If you have open areas where like you won't feel like it will hurt the wildlife, your ability to farm or whatever, like get some wind turbines out there. Like, some of the consistently windiest places in the world are I think in the middle of the United States, like the Dakotas and stuff. And like, you could cover these states with wind turbines and solar panels and stuff. And there's no urgency in. And I'm confused by everyone's fear of nuclear power and modernity. And they look at something like Fukushima and they're like, well, look what happened. And I'm like, that was an earthquake, and then the seawalls failed, and then the shit got flooded. Like the earthquake didn't do it. You know, you got to prepare. Like it's a learned lesson, and it was a horrible thing. I remember watching all that shit live on CNN one night. You know, as it was all on, and I'm like, these people are dying down there. Like the water's. But I'm like, we have all this free energy where we refuse to harness it. It's crazy. It's what Elon Musk always says about the sun. It's like, dude, we don't have to build a Dyson sphere around the sun to like be able to like harness infinite energy from it, like where there would be no worries ever. Yeah. We just have to have the willingness to do it, and that would free everyone up from having to have these messy geopolitical relationships with each other. Where like, all right, you don't want to be friends with the Russians, but you kind of got to be friends with the Russians because you need their gas, and it's like, well, you can just cut them off.
Politicians, that's the problem, right? Like I remember in Germany when completely abandoned nuclear power, like I think a decade ago, like Merkel completely abandoned it, and now they're going back to it.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah,
crazy.
But now they're going back to it because they have to. So it's all about political leadership. I feel like making the wrong decisions that now we're suffering the consequences. But if we get new leadership now that does things right, our kids or future generations will be in better shape again. So hopefully that happens at some point all across the world. That would be nice.
It would be nice. I want peace and prosperity for everyone to just live their own way, go their own direction. Yes. Yeah. And but like we are stewards of the same planet, and we have to worry about those kinds of things too. And I understand that. Obviously, you know, your continent is scorching right now, and mine is because of, you know, partially because of global warming, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, we're old enough to know that things have changed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And we should be mindful of those kinds of things. I'm still a very technological or technologist-minded person where I'm like, we will solve this problem some other way. We can't stop burning fossil fuels. We can't stop doing these things. It's just not practical. So we'll figure it out. And if you read about this stuff, there's already a lot of interesting ways that people think this stuff can be mitigated. And so I think honestly, like technology caused these problems, and technology will solve these problems. But like the embrace of nuclear power is central to all of it, in my opinion.
Remember when we were kids? Remember there were two things they always scared us with, right? Like the threat of war, of course, and the hole in the ozone layer,
right? Which they fixed. Yep.
Yeah, which they fixed. So you're right. I'm pretty sure they can fix this too at some point somehow.
This is a much more complex issue that will require a lot more work. But like that's what's so sad about what happened to Europe is like they did it for CO2 emissions, but it's like someone should have sat like, you know, like what's so funny is that they don't really mean it. Right? Because the nuclear power plants would have reduced your emissions to nothing. But also it's like that doesn't stop China and India from fucking spouting off. Like at some point nor should, I mean, they had an ethical argument about it, about like, well, you got to industrialize and we don't. And I'm like, yeah, that's a powerful argument. And so like we got to do a lot of things. I always say this too, like there's good parts of the earth getting a little warmer and CO2 being a little more dense in the atmosphere, which is like our plants are really happy, crops are really happy with it. So we got to find that balance, you know, like, cause I think like I remind people the earth at different times there were glaciers all the way down to the equator. And there were times where there wasn't a single shred of ice on the entire surface of the planet. So things change, you know?
Yeah. It's also part of it is also a cycle, of course. That's no doubt. But yeah, hopefully, remember you and I earlier I said I was 41, but I'm 42 now that I think about it. I'm not 41. I'm 42. I always forget. Don't you have that when it's your birthday?
Oh yeah, because your birthday is past, right? Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm 42 now.
Right.
But remember when we were kids and everything seemed so, I know everybody says this, of course, but when we were kids, the whole world was more at peace. No, don't you think that's true? Or at least it seems.
Well, I mean, we were born into an era where the Cold War was a foregone conclusion, and now everyone was waiting for it to unravel. And so, like, things I think were unusually tranquil. Like the '80s were a boom time for the West.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the '90s, like the lost decade in Japan and the Middle East shit started popping off, and you know, there were a lot of problems. There were a lot of financial issues and fraud. Depending on how you count decades, that was when the .com crash happened as well. So like things started unraveling quickly from there. But yeah, like I know people think it's crazy, but I just think things were substantially better when we were kids, and that's real.
I think so too.
You know, that's not a nostalgia. It's that we live in an unusual generation where like things are not getting progressively better, and it's the first time that's happened since, the interwar period, probably, right? Like that was a horrible time. And
Yeah.
it was good for a little while, but then it got really bad. And we're not in a situation like that. But with, what was going on in Germany and, with
Of course. Yeah.
hyperinflation, I'm not saying any of that, but like, it just feels like we're regressing. And that's a horrible and uncomfortable thing for our generation. That's like a hallmark of our generation. And I think there's a lot of blame to go around. And I think a lot of people blame the baby boomers. I don't know that that's necessarily really fair, but
Well,
yeah.
yeah. It's also like somebody said in the chat here, Dougie Fresh Games, who says the internet is dooming and glooming. I think that's also a huge part of it. Like I get I notice it with myself too. I get influenced so much by stuff I see on Twitter or YouTube, and I get really worked up about it. And then I go out with my friends or have a drink, and then I realize like, oh, it's doesn't really matter all that much, or it's not that bad. Or so I think the internet is also like a huge it has a huge negative impact. Of course, we can't go without it, and it's wonderful and it's beautiful and it provides a lot of stuff. But it also has a huge negative net impact on the world right now.
Yeah, I don't know what its net impact is. Like I don't know on net. It seems we were joking about it before, like when we were trying to get everything going and things weren't working, like we had to like restart things, and I was like, I literally said to Locke, I'm like, I want China to invade the United States so badly. And just launch EMPs all over the place and just fry this fucking country's electronics. And then it'll be like Man in the High Castle-esque, where we'll be fucking subjugated by some foreign country, but we'll still be able to kind of live our lives. It'll be fine. And yeah, like I struggle with that because I think it's a cop-out sometimes, the way people talk about the internet. And I don't, for lack of I'm not saying you're doing this, but it comes off as holier than thou, in my opinion, when people make these criticisms, because it sounds like you're talking about the internet in 1997. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I'm going to go type in AOL keyword Nickelodeon and go play game. Like you're opting into this experience. It truly is like this other world, this cyberspace, as it used to be called. And it doesn't really intersect, but then you start seeing it encroach. Like that's what I saw a movie poster, for instance. Like I follow this Twitter account with like old movie posters, and there was like a URL on the movie poster, and it was from 1995. And I'm like, that was it. That was the beginning of this world starting to like creep in and become more. And it was said like HTTP, visit us on the World Wide Web, HTTP:// that kind of thing. And then you fast forward 10 years and it just says in the corner of the movie poster, like, movie.com.
Yeah.
And that's like, and everyone understood it, if that makes sense. And I think it's a sign, a small signal of the internet. Like my entire career revolves around it. So it's hard for me to treat it too fake. And I feel like it has real world ramifications in major ways. I think we've lost sight of what the balance of those things are. And
that's it.
And how they interplay with each other. I think the internet matters in big ways. I think your day-to-day life matters in small ways. And it's not to say the big ways are better than the small ways. It's to say like how I've said this a million times. Trump won because Elon Musk bought Twitter. Right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
That's
I
think big way. But like you'll go and like go out to get your mail and run into your neighbor and have a nice 5-minute conversation with them. That's a small way, and the small ways I think feel more powerful in the moment because they're big to you. So I don't know. Maybe I'm pontificating too much, but I think that makes sense to me.
No, I think those are very valid points. What I meant is that remember, if you're a kid and you have negative thoughts, you surround you just have you have your friends and your family, and those are the people you have to deal with, right? But now these days you can look for people with similar thoughts and like get entrenched in them. And I think that's a danger for a lot of people, myself included. Like if I have if I think about something a certain way, and I have enough people around me on the internet that entice that point, that think the exact same way, I don't listen anymore to the other people who probably also make good points. So I think maybe the internet is a little bit dangerous in that way these days, at least, because you get into contact with so many people of similar mindset. Look at what happened with you, for instance. That's kind of funny, or other places where you're the only conservative, right? I think the internet makes it so stuff like that becomes more prevalent. Like that, people who are of similar mind seek each other out, and you're no longer surrounded by people of different mindsets.
I
Or do
think
you think that's
no,
wrong?
I think that that's absolutely. I think that that's true. Um, you find yourself on the internet. There's an old Third Eye Blind song I remember when it came out when I was in like even middle school, I think. And he says something about like he's talking to the person in the song, I think, and he's like talks about something about how he was finding his queer friends on cyberspace or whatever. And this is a song from like 1997, right?
Yeah.
And how he was finding himself and like finding like-minded people or whatever in this particular track. And that always stuck with me. And I'm like, yeah, like from the beginning, like from Usenet in the 80s, people were
Yeah.
finding their people for the very first time. And there's a gravity towards that. And then it's self-reinforcing in that it makes you seem like maybe makes things seem outsized and all the rest. Or the influence structure to be a little bit different, where you think things are true that are not. I think those things are true. I also think that, like, I know in my own career, I just don't want to be divisive or partisan by nature.
Yeah.
Like
Of course.
I'm a very political person. I have opinions on things, but I never really tried to carry myself through my life of trying to alienate people and isolate them from me based on just these kind of immaterial things, whatever they might be, from very serious political issues to very unserious political issues and everything in between.
Yeah.
And I think what I learned when I did my political content was, and especially when I was like fielding offers and like people were interested in me to do things for them or whatever, and I've talked a little bit about this, is like there were expectations, I think, though unsaid, about like what you would say and how you would feel, and that there was a certain line. And I'm like, well, but that will necessarily cut me off from so many people that I would like to talk to.
Sure.
We might disagree on some things, but it doesn't have to be like this structural thing. And I think the internet has made it very structural and rigid in ways that are unproductive, because you can so easily find, like you're saying, find your other people. You don't need to really like, you don't need to sharpen yourself or take opinions that might be unpopular. And I realized that too. So it made me very unhappy because I didn't want to, you end up getting shit from everybody basically, you know?
Oh yeah, I can imagine, dude. Yeah. I
And
can imagine.
the money was nice, but like, it's not really worth living that way in my opinion. And I knew pretty quickly that I didn't want to do it, you know?
Do you miss it sometimes? Do you, because you were gonna go far, like you know you were gonna go far. So do you see it as like an opportunity that you had to let go of because of that, or do you see it more as like I'm glad I never went further with it?
Well, I'm glad I never went further with it just because it worked out so much better
Yeah,
this way. Like it would be easy. It's easy for me to say like, yeah, I don't regret it because look at how much better it even is now than it would have been if I did that.
of course. Yeah,
But that
for
wasn't
sure.
necessarily true. And then who knows how I would have felt about it. I just think that I am not built for online political discourse that requires deep partisanship because I'm not really a partisan person. And
Good.
so I have deep
Yeah.
opinions that typically go in one direction, but that's not partisanship, you know? Do I
Yeah.
wonder sometimes like what would have happened if I said yes when the Blaze and Glenn Beck and those guys were wanted me to, you know, were talking to me and being like, we want to work with you and all that. And I was about to launch my Patreon. Like, do I wonder like what would have happened if I did that instead? Yeah, that would have been
Mm.
interesting. I don't think I would have liked the outcome. And I
No.
don't, and what I explained to them, as I've said this to the audience before, is like what I explained to them was like, I don't think you guys understand that I'm not maybe what you think I am, you know? And that wouldn't have been very good for anyone, I don't think. But would that have brought me down another line? I mean, yeah, probably. And it was a pretty successful thing for me to do. But sometimes I think about, it's funny, sometimes I think about just making a random video and putting it on the old channel one day, like not even saying anything about it, like not even publicizing it at all. And not something like egregious or inflammatory, but just something like something. And just updating it for the first time in years. It's crossed my mind. But
Yeah. Sure.
but I think that's more out of boredom than anything else. And I will say this, like one thing I don't want to be a part of is the discourse.
Yeah.
Like
Of
I like
course.
individual topics and I think
Yeah.
they're important. And I think that there's a lot to say about those, but being part of this ever going discourse where you have to have opinions on everything and you have to sound off and everything, it's like, ugh,
It's annoying,
I
right?
don't,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't want to do that, man. I'm so sick of hearing like in every corner of existence, like political shit
Yes, me
from
too.
people that I don't want to hear it from, not because they have different opinions, but because I just feel like it seems so forced. Like I think the Israeli-Palestinian thing is one of those situations right now where it's like this just has to be at the forefront of everything. Like it must be discussed at all times. Your opinion must be known. You have to do things in certain ways. It's like enough, dude. Like it's people want to get away from this kind of shit. I totally understand that, and that's why
Yes.
when this isn't really our content, but when we do our actual content like the podcast, we try to just make it as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. We want to be both deeply opinionated and stand on solid ground about the things we feel, but we also want to let people know that you don't have to agree. You know, because I think it's just totally off-putting and ugh. It's just like,
Yes.
and like, here's the thing, Lockmort. It's like, I'm sorry to keep going, but it's like,
No, it's good. Good talk.
it's the same thing with Russia and Ukraine. And there's like a lot, so it's not exclusive to Israel and Palestine, but there's just a lot of these things where it's like, you don't know fucking anything about this. And by the way,
yep, that's it. Yeah.
I remember saying this about Russia and Ukraine. It's like, I know a great deal about it from a geopolitical point of view. I don't know what it's like to be on the ground. I don't know like the complexities of their fucking intercultural development over many hundreds of years. Kievan Rus, as it used to be called, like the whole origin of the Russian Empire and ultimately the split and a lot of the shit that happened during the Soviet era and these arbitrary borders. Like you don't understand anything about it. Why do you have such strong opinions on it? It's the same thing with Israel and Palestine. It's like, we understand more than we ever would want to about this fucking situation at this point. I've been studying it in some way since I was a child. As people know, I grew up on Long Island, incredibly Jewish place. So like you hear these things, you understand, and then you're like, and then you start reading about it yourself, and you're like, this is so dynamic,
of course,
and so complex, and so generational, and so specific. You have really deep opinions about something like that you have virtually no understanding of, and I don't either. You know, and that's the thing that bothers me. It's like let's just leave it, you know, and leave that for the appropriate places and try to like make things a more welcoming place. Or if you want to bring it up in a more understanding and I don't want to say agnostic way. Have your opinions, but like the whole, how many times do I have to be called a Zionist over the last 3 years? You know, like and I'm like, what is that? Like, why am I like, why we, what? Like what?
That
it's infiltrating everything. It's annoying.
But that's a problem. Like people who don't know what they're talking about are bringing it all back to the most simplistic possible thing that their minds can comprehend, and that's why it's so annoying because they feel like they have a monopoly on the truth, and they will tell you what it's like, and this side is evil, and this side are the good guys. So it's almost impossible to have like a normal discussion about it either. So that's why most people like me, I just don't like mentioning it anymore, because you'll get into an argument with people for no reason. Because people don't know the history, or just people just think differently too, and that's okay. Like
yeah, exactly. It's like I appreciate people's the great I think the great exhibitor of fashionable opinions about things is that Greta girl that just goes from like one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, and it's like it's just professional agitation, and I don't know how it helps anyone or like anyone's interpersonal connections with each other, but like I say it over and over again, I and I mean it, like I couldn't care less about foreign policy right now, like.
Sure. No,
you know, for me personally, it's like, whatever, man. As long as there's all these problems going around the world, like I obviously have opinions on every conflict and like who I would want to win the conflict and like things, but it's like, I'm not going to act like I'm totally divorced from having like any sort of thought. My bigger thing is like, I don't think we can balance all this stuff at once. And I don't think it's really ultimately our problem. You know, it's not our problem.
There's also, it's not a TV show or there is no winning. Like neither side is gonna win and everything will be happy and great again. There has to be a way to live peacefully together or die alone. That's the only thing every country can do, right? Like it's also, I think it's also useless to just, I see so many people talk about it, especially in games and movies and actors and activists. And I don't care what these people have to say about anything. Like just talk about your movie. I don't care about what you have to say about Israel or Palestine or any other conflict in the world, because I know more than you do. So don't lecture me on stuff that you don't know anything about, and you just want to be performative.
Yeah,
And I think that's the case for a lot of people.
and it's another thing about like also try getting a personality sometime, and not making
Yeah,
your whole personality about like a conflict in the Middle East, for instance,
yeah,
or like or the Russian conflict or whatever. It's like get maybe get a personality at some point.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but it's teach their own. I mean, focus on what you want. I think you're just kind of wasting your time
yeah,
and wasting your breath. But it's
yeah. But we're kind of doing it now too. So we're kind of talking about it, but not talking about it too.
well,
So
well. I
everybody
mean,
does it, I guess.
but I think this is what I'm trying to differentiate is like this is a stream. This is commentary. This isn't my
Sure, yeah,
content.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
This
That's
would
true.
never be
You're
a
right.
part of Sacred Symbols. You
Yeah, yeah, that's
know,
true. Of course, yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Yeah,
and there are space for this. What I'm saying is like I don't want to go on your personally. I don't want to go on one's core content in here an hour and a half. About
yeah,
Palestine and Israel.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I just think that like people are mistaking. I again, as I said earlier in the conversation, it goes back to like gender and sexuality and all this kind of stuff. It's like people make this shit their entire personality, and it is so fucking lame. Like
yeah,
imagine someone asks who you are, like, well, tell me about yourself, and you start out being like, I'm a gay man. It's like, what? That's your personality? Like that's the first thing you thought to tell me? You
yeah,
know? I'm a white man. Like imagine, think about how preposterous that would be. What? It doesn't
yeah,
tell. That doesn't tell me anything. But I just I don't know, man. What I do like is good conversation, which I think we're having now, and I also think
yeah.
that like there's a
Sure.
place for all of the dialogue and discourse, but
Yeah,
I think it's being. I think it's kind of what it's interesting. It's I think what led to the fall of Stephen Colbert on
oh yeah,
CBS, right?
definitely.
Like
Yeah, yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah,
bastardized that show and ruined it.
yeah, yeah,
Not because he's not allowed to have his opinions, but because he alienated half the audience. And there's a place and time for alienation, and there's a place and time for not alienating people. And the place and time for not alienating people is Sacred Symbols. The place and time for not alienating people is The Late Show.
sure. Yeah,
The time for alienating people is Sacred Streaming with Lockmort.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, get people very mad. That's the way to do it, I guess. Yeah. By the way, it's been an hour. Congrats, you made $1,000 because before we started streaming, Brock's 38 said that you were going to mention AC within the first 10 minutes, and you didn't. It never got mentioned until now. So great job, Brock's 38. Thank you for the $1,000. Awesome, awesome, great job.
Um,
Thank you.
God, the air conditioning. Well, that's all part and parcel with the energy shit, and it's like
Sure.
I'm quite comfortable right now. So thank you for asking.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Well, you want to talk about something fun?
Sure. If
Instead
we
of
have to.
instead of the
Yeah.
deep political stuff.
Yeah, it's always
'Cause
good to talk to you. I loved having conversations with smart people like yourself
yeah, me too.
about
Me
interesting
too.
things.
I like it too. But I also get it because I saw people getting upset in the chat. I get it. Look, when I watch my gaming content and they start getting political, I always get like, oh, okay, well, this is fun, but can you guys talk about games now? Or the most annoying thing, which I also get, is when you listen to a podcast or you watch people on YouTube and there's a guest on. That's the worst thing that can ever happen. I always hate that shit. So don't worry, Dustin will be back at some point, and then Jaffe will be here at some point. That don't worry, everything will go back to normal soon. I'm sure.
Yeah, I've been practicing not really reading the chat. So, because I found
No, but I get it.
it's found, well, it's fun. I mean, I like to see people's feedback, but I find
Yeah,
that I just get distracted by it as well if I read it too much. So I just not even really been paying attention to it.
yeah,
But yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Go, please.
No, I was just gonna say I get it though. I get the argument from people who are like, I want to talk about games. I want to hear you guys talk about games because ultimately that's why they subscribe to you, of course, right? They want to hear your gaming takes, also your political takes, of course, because you're at your political channel. But I know myself. When I watch stuff myself too, and they keep going on and on about political stuff, I'm always like, oh come on, like I want to have something fun. I want
I
to.
understand what you're saying, and yeah, maybe we're getting caught in that too. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Although again, I just want the point of sacred streaming was for me to just do something else.
Yeah.
And it's going to be whatever.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course.
like I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for any other reason than to break up the monotony of waiting for my shows, in
Yeah.
which we do the same thing on every fucking show every week.
Yeah.
So people have to understand that just from a creative point of view, I got to do what I got to do. And yeah, like it is what it is. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Does it get boring to you? Or boring is not the right word. Like, don't you ever get like burned out on like, I can imagine how many episodes of Sacred Symbols have you done now? You've never missed a single week, right? So you've
No,
had
so we're
like
417, I think. Yeah.
Jesus. Aren't you ever like on a Thursday when you're recording, or like, oh God, now I have to do it again?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yes. But you know, it's a blessing, right? Like I try to keep in mind regularly multiple things about my life.
Yeah.
That I am incredibly fortunate and that I am incredibly lucky.
Sure.
And that you better be very careful, as my parents always told me when I was a kid, you better be very careful what you wish for. You know? I've talked about in the past that when I was at IGN and I was making like $60,000 or $70,000 a year at the most, when I was there, I was like, I would literally leave the gaming industry forever if I could just get some fucking boring desk job and make like $120,000 a year and everyone just left me alone for the rest of my life. And that would have been awesome in its own way, but it would have got me stuck for the rest of my life. I would have never gotten to explore the things that go above and beyond that, and I would never be here. So like, I always try to remind myself that no matter how good or bad I feel like a certain situation is or has gotten, it's like, well, it could be a whole lot worse. And the reality is that like, do things get monotonous? Yes. Am I desperate sometimes to like do something else? And I don't mean like do other work. I mean like just have like the ability to court the same audience and just do it differently. Yeah. But I also try to remember that like it's a really important product for people. And it's important to do it well. It's important to be super prepared. I try to put my all into it. I feel like people sometimes remark that, you know, you could tell when I was on or off at like Kind of Funny or even on Podcast Beyond. And I was on or off. I was much more emotional then, and I was much more annoyed by things then. And I had other things to worry about, especially with doing Podcast Beyond. It was like the least important part of my job, even though it was the funnest part of my job. Yeah. I try to exhibit a lot more consistency so that there's never an episode where you would even know how I necessarily felt about anything. And sometimes you have to put the fucking clown makeup on, dude. I mean, that's what, I mean, seriously, it's like, I know people like talking to me. I know people like talking to me or hearing me talk and cover things or whatever. But like, I want to be, I'm an entertainer. And I suppose I understand that's my function. And ultimately, I'm highly replaceable, highly disposable, and you got to be just kind of thankful and grateful for the places that you are and where you've been. I've gotten so much further than I ever imagined I would, and I'm grateful for like every day. It feels like borrowed time in some way, you know, like it's like, wow, this is, I really am. I really do feel that way. And because I'm also not much of a striver. You know, like I've talked about that a lot. Like I was a lot hungrier when I was younger. I've achieved what I have wanted to achieve, but
that's age too, right? Like,
yeah, I guess it's like, I think it's just like one's experience in life, you know. Because it could be I could be of this age and have things going really bad too. So yeah, like it's. I try to remember that like people have to get up and do things that they don't want to do.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
In really bad conditions and do all these things. And like, I'm the guy that gets to put on the clown makeup, and that's kind of like ridiculous. And the people in those trenches require you to wear the clown makeup so that they can fucking have a distraction in their life. And like, I take that's where it gets serious for me. Yeah. Where I'm like, yeah, I get it. And that's why I try to be consistent. Because I get mad when the shit I like isn't there.
Yes, exactly. But that's what I meant earlier too. Like I get annoyed too when it isn't there or when they have a guest on. I hate it when they have a guest on. That's every episode. Well, I don't really listen to podcasts anymore, but when I did, and there was a guest, I was okay, like, God, give me the normal guys, give me the regular people. Um, but what you said earlier that you were, I don't think you are replaceable at this point anymore. Um, I think you're one of the few consistent people who are still there. Like, oh, a lot of all those other gaming content dropped off. It's just you're still here. Kind of funny is still here. Um, but a lot of those other people are gone. Funhouse is gone. Like the whole of Rooster Teeth is gone. Um, so it's you, kind of funny. Who else is there? I think Easy Allies is kind of still there, but not really, right?
Yeah, like we do. I think Min-Max is around. There's a few others, but like,
Yeah, Min-Max, yeah.
but like, yeah, we're a dying breed.
Yeah.
I see our data. You know, like I know how old we are. You know,
Yeah.
like I know the games we play and the systems that we're into and the ecosystems we're into, and like we have no future with the with the new generation.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
really care because I'm not trying to speak to them. I mean, we have some young listeners and viewers, some too young because I feel like this is adult content in some way. But when you see
Sure,
the data,
yeah.
it's like 13 to 17 or something, and it's like 3.2% are like, oh god.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like I just want to do what I do as best as I can do it for as long as I can do it, and then that's the end. You know, leave it out on the field and try to do the best for the people around me too. Like it's very important to, it's I always say the biggest stress on my life is keeping the business going, requisite to allowing those around me to continue to thrive. Too.
Yeah.
It would be a lot more complex, or I'm sorry, a lot less complex for me to just do this by myself. But like it grew into this thing that has become so much bigger and people rely on it. So I take that very seriously,
Yeah.
I just did payroll yesterday actually. And it's a fun and important part of the process. And that's the biggest stress I have. Yeah. But the good news is that like, I gotta say, man, like the business is doing really well and like, we're doing great.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of everyone. Everyone's doing an awesome job. And yeah, I'm really grateful.
But that's also that you can also like that you also have like a mature audience. That also helps, I presume, right? Like, because if you look at like other gaming related content and you see their chats or you see what people say about them online, it's mostly like, you guys seem pretty young. But your audience seems more mature too. So they're probably more, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but they seem more how do you put it? Like steady? Like it's the same people?
Yeah, I'm kind of I've noted this that like I'm kind of what I call name blind. Where like
Oh, sure.
there
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
there, after a while you start to definitely get to know names. Certainly
Yeah.
I don't know your YouTube handles or your Discord handles or even your Twitter handles. I don't know any of that. But I do recognize names that write into the show and people I've corresponded with, and you get to know some of these people and you become friends with some of these people. So I don't want to overstate that because I'm pretty bad at that shit. And that goes back long before I was ever a content creator. Like I always talked about it on the forums. Like I never knew who was saying anything. I was just reading what was being said. It was a very weird thing. I don't know what that's all about. But like, yeah, I think we do have, we have a very consistent audience. There have been people that have been listening to me for many, many years, and it's an honor and it's interesting. The idea of micro community I find so funny. Like it goes back to like the newsletter era. Like people used to write like newsletters in like the 60s and 70s and like, or like they would make a like TMNT was made like this. Like they would make a comic book and then advertise it in like some random magazine and then sell it out of their house or whatever, that kind of shit. It's like, it's a form of that. And, you can make a living doing it and you can entertain people and you don't really need to have this broad audience. I kind of like it this way. Like it would be cool to have 1 million subscribers or whatever, like real subscribers, not the number. That'd be amazing. But like, man, that's a lot of scrutiny.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have it this way instead, where you kind of get the best of both worlds and you kind of fly under the radar a little bit. All you have to put away is like your own vanity of being like, yeah, we'll never be that big, but that's okay. And I long ago accepted that, like that we're never going to be this huge thing. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. it seems like almost impossible to grow, right? Like especially on YouTube, it's like stuck at 96 or 96K, and that's just
Oh yeah,
where
it
it's
just
going to
stays
be.
there. We don't gain
Yeah,
any. So we lose and gain the exact amount of subscribers.
yeah,
And
it's so funny.
I've noted this, Lock. You might have heard me say this. That would drive a lot of people crazy. But to me, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it,
I'd actually, Chris, I know feels the same way because he's the one I always discuss this with. Is like, if I could wave a wand over like my Twitter followers or our YouTube channel, like whatever, and be like, what is the actual number?
yeah,
And then it reduced it to whatever it was. I'd be like, I'd much rather that number be known.
yeah,
And then have this, like, because people are so obsessed with subscribers, and I'm like, I don't know, dude. I think a lot of channels look goofy as hell. Personally, they have like 500,000 subscribers and they're getting 3,000 views on their videos or something like that. I'm like, I don't think that's a good thing. I think you look like a fucking idiot. I'd rather that number stay kind of small and tight, and the views go up, which they are, and the closer those numbers get to each other, the better I feel. And because you attract hardcore people, I just want to know what the number is. Some people are obsessed with the number, but I want to know what it is. You know, and it's not 96,000. You know, it's not.
No, that's true. That's definitely true. That's definitely a good point. Yeah, because we've talked about this before, like means to grow, right? How could you make LSM bigger, or how could you? And then we tried the clips, you know, or the edits, or stuff on Twitter. You would post stuff on Twitter, but just nothing. It just stays at 96. It just stays there.
Yeah,
forever.
I don't know. Like it's interesting. I noted this too. Like at our height, we were at almost 14,000 Patreon subscribers. Yeah. We're at like 12,400 and something now, or something like that. I'm much more accurate. Well, I feel like, you know, the numbers seem like they're getting much more accurate. Feeling Patreon, or knowing Patreon acknowledging that like the numbers were all fucked up, really made me feel better. So we don't really know exactly what the numbers ever were, but that's how they read. But the irony is that we're making a little bit more money with that many people than we were with the almost 14,000. Yeah, because there's a lot of texture to it. We have a $1 tier, and if you lose 5 of them, you lose $5. If you gain one $5 tier, you gain the $5 back, but you're net negative 4 subscribers. But I like the low tier. It's like the comfort tier. It's like get in and kind of get your feet wet and see how you feel.
Yeah, it's smart.
It's like it's financially worthless. It's a way for us to try to captivate someone to step up. But like those people are the most mobile, and so losing them both sucks because you lose a prospective higher level customer. But that -1 subscriber makes it look like you really lost a core subscriber, which you usually didn't. So I can't complain. I would rather have both of those numbers go up, but the money is important to keeping everyone paid, and so it's like, okay, cool. Like we are just attracting and retaining core subscribers, which is I'm happy with. And numbers have actually been going up, and I think that the new generation of consoles will be awesome for the business. Regardless of their performance, it will not matter how they do. It will not matter. Like PS6 can be $1,500. In fact, the worse PlayStation does, probably the better it's going to be for the Sacred Symbols, if anything.
That's probably
I'll just be totally honest with you.
Yeah,
Sacred Symbols or Podcast Beyond was born out of the early PS3 era, and that was true for that show too.
Look at Duke. Whenever there's bad news, they do amazing numbers. Yeah, that's always true, right?
Definitely. So, so I don't know, man. It's interesting. Like the business is so dynamic, but like it seems like we've hit a good cadence, you know, of what people enjoy and like, and I'm grateful for it, and I'm grateful to have outlets where I can just, you know, we do our core content that people rely on, and then like this, I really look forward to these streams because it's just a way for me to not do the normal stuff.
Of course I get that. Yeah, but because at first you weren't really looking forward to them, right? Like you didn't really want to do them, or did you? Were you always like open-minded towards them, or were you more like, oh, because the reason I asked that is why did you stop playing games? Why did you stop doing that?
Like on the streams?
Yeah, why did you stop? For instance, why did you continue with Elden Ring?
Well, Elden Ring and Kingdom Hearts were the 2 games that did really well, or whatever. I kind of tried to articulate this at one point that like I don't want and it's no insult to either game. I like Elden Ring, and I liked Kingdom Hearts a lot more than I thought I was going to. I admitted that we did a whole spoiler cast about it.
Of course, yeah, of
So
course.
I want to be totally open minded to those things, but I don't want game streams to be about torturing me. It's kind of like the exact opposite of why I want to do these streams, which is like looking forward to them and having fun. And even if it's like, all right, we'll get half the traffic that we usually would if we don't do Elden Ring. It's like, all right. I mean, I don't care. Like, if I tried to cater towards the traffic alone, I think it would just become another part of my job and not something that I just want to do. I will also say that it's part of my lamentation that the less effort I seem to put into things on stream, the better they do. And that kind of Mike and I were talking about that this weekend, and how it's kind of a good problem, but at the same time, it's like when I played, I wanted to show everyone, Metal Eden.
Yes, Metal Eden, yeah.
And a ton of people complained about that. I wanted to show people Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and like there was a ton of complaints about that, and the traffic doesn't do as well or whatever. And I'm like, well, okay, so I could just play these on my own. I don't want to be like, oh, he's the Fortnite streamer, or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. I'm like, I don't want to I'm not doing it for. You always hear about this with like the streamers where they're like, they stop playing a certain game. I think this happened with Marathon because it's like, well, we just do better when we play this other game. And I'm like, I don't really want to gauge that. It's like right now, for instance, we're just shooting the shit because that's what I want to do. I guess I could boot up my PS5 and we can play Elden Ring and we can fucking add a couple thousand people to the concurrence, but who cares? You know, like that's my whole thing. It's it's not a core part of my business. I guess I'd be more mindful of that if I one day became a streamer, and then we'll do Elden Ring Wednesday or something like that, and it'll make everyone happy.
You got to do what you want to do, of course. That's the most important part. But how come you didn't enjoy it? Is my question more so? Because my impression was, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you thought that people were making fun of you, right? That you didn't, because there's a lot of stress. I can imagine if you're playing a game like Elden Ring, and then people are like, the chat is like enticing you. But I think that is the beautiful thing, or that was the beautiful thing about those streams, is that at first when you started those Elden Ring streams, like people were making fun of you, sure, but then you get them on the arc, right? You got better. People saw you gradually got better. You got them hyped up, and every week I think you did 3 streams of it. Near the end, people were cheering for you constantly. You're like, yeah, Colin, you got this. You did it. And then you did it. You beat that first boss, and everyone was like, yeah, cheering with you. And I thought that was so cool. But if you don't want to do them, of course, that's completely understandable. It's your stuff.
I would just rather do it with a game I want to play. You know, like I totally get it. And I want to be clear. Like I don't care. I didn't really feel like people were being very mean to me about Elden Ring, and I don't mind people being mean to me about games. Like that doesn't. I'm mean to myself about things. I say it all the time. I'm not very good at games. I do the best I can. I love, trophies. I play on one console. People like are very critical of all those things. That doesn't bother me at all. It really is a matter of like, do you feel good when you beat the boss and you get further and you understand things better? Of course I do, but it feels like I'm in a fucking classroom. You know?
Yeah.
And then the only way to stay good at Elden Ring is to continue to play it. And then it's like, so then it becomes just this perpetual thing. It's like, I like playing games on stream. I think it's fun, and I've had a good time playing the games that I've wanted to play on stream. I think that's the big thing is I just want to follow my instincts on like what I think would make for a pleasant stream for me. And should we expand this offering in the future, which is possible? I've not talked to anyone about that, but like I did note last week that our ad people are like interested in selling these streams. They like our streams do really well. And I think they were surprised by that, because like, it's like, we have good traffic, but we're really known for our Patreon support. We're known for like the power of our paying subscribers, and Sacred Symbols itself is very big, but all the other shows are, of a normal size. And so I think they were kind of surprised. They're like, oh, this is very sellable. So I told them, I'm like, if there's money to be made here and like, there's an opportunity to open this whole other spigot of revenue, then I'll stream more. And then if we do that, then we'll do more gameplay things, and I'll be more in tune with what the audience wants and all of the rest. But like for now, it's not a job, and I want to kind of if that makes sense, and keep it that way
completely.
But I understand from a programming point of view, I understand entirely what you mean. I mean, what people would normally do is give the audience exactly what they wanted, and I totally get that. I mean, that's logical. It's just it doesn't take into account that I'm just trying to have fun. And
exactly. That's
yeah,
that's the important part. You should have fun. Yeah, that's the important part, of course, right? Because that's what you're saying, right? Like
right.
you just want to have fun. Yeah.
Like I don't. Yeah, right. It's like if we stream more regularly, then it'll become more regimented, and then we'll be able to, I think, please everyone.
Yeah.
But I've really enjoyed doing these streams, and I think people have liked them. They do pretty good traffic, and
Yeah.
I feel bad that I'm not like I don't have to do more, but on them. But we will do more. I'm just. Will we get back to Elden Ring? Maybe one day. But even if we got back to it, I would have to kind of practice offline because I certainly can't jump back into it. I don't remember how to play it. Yeah, so
Sure. Yeah. No, of course. And like people said here, Jaffe brings the viewers. That's also true. Like whenever you have Jaffe on, that's also those shows always do incredible too.
yeah,
That's always fun.
I love doing the streams with Jaffe. That's a lot of people don't like those, but then a lot of people do like them, and they do very, very well. I don't like. I've said this before. People are responsible for their own behavior, so I'm not going to get too crazy about it. But like, I don't like the way a lot of people talk about Jaffe and to Jaffe, and I don't
Sure.
like exposing him to it. And part of me, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Our patrons don't really do that to him, so that's like, so Sacred Plus is a lot safer in that regard. But I just don't like. I don't like that. What happened with some?
Somebody said get Randy.
Oh,
That would
Randy.
be amazing. I would love that. That would be amazing. I love Randy. I think it's such a funny character.
He had a redemption arc, and then I think he kind of fell out of the sky again, and I don't know what his whole deal is. I don't know about him. But
Yeah, he's still in a Discord every once in a while. He's still in a Discord.
we'll have him. I don't think he'll ever be a guest, but I definitely want to talk to him again when
Yeah,
Jaffe's here.
yeah,
My favorite I love like just random understated humor, like things that are really not supposed to be funny, and like,
oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
the thing with him and Jaffe where he asked Jaffe what he thinks is going to happen. And Jaffe's response to that is like one of my favorite Jaffe moments. Like I was dying. Like that is the low key funniest fucking part of that interaction. There's a lot of other really funny parts of it, but like low key,
Yeah,
I was like, that is so good. I love Jaffe.
yeah, he's awesome.
He's one of my very favorite people. He's important to me. Like he's a good friend of mine. Like I have a lot of love for him. And I don't like when I know he's outspoken and brash, and you can get a little crazy with it. And sometimes he eats into the mic, which I want to fucking lose it.
Yeah.
Ugh. But he's got such a big heart, and he's just a good person. He's got a lot of interesting insight, knowledge, very experienced.
Sure.
And I said before, I don't think people appreciate how much access they have to someone like that. Like I think they take it a little bit for granted. Like a first party PlayStation creative director,
Yeah,
he's a one of a kind in that regard, and
yeah.
you gotta know what you have. That you're living in the good old days right now.
Have you ever watched him on one of the local shows?
No,
Where
I've never tuned into those. I don't know anything really about those. Like I see a clip every once in a while because I think that guy Boogie,
Yeah,
used to be on it. I don't know if he is anymore.
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
You love this shit though, right? Like you're really into it.
Well, I loved it when it was real. About 2 years ago, when it was just Keemstar, Boogie, and Wings of Redemption, I was hooked to that shit because those people are crazy. They're like legends. They're like YouTube pioneers. They were there before everybody else. They're wacky. They're weird. So, but as soon as Boogie's cancer, do you know about the cancer arc? Have you ever heard this story before?
Like he had cancer, but he didn't really get diagnosed with it or something.
Well, he didn't really have cancer. Like he
okay.
faked cancer, and he knew about it too. And then Destiny, that other streamer got on stream, and they caught him, and Boogie went completely berserk for a couple of weeks. That was amazingly trash content, but it was so funny to watch. But after that, they realized like, oh, we can get a lot of money, we can get a lot of views if we do stuff like this. So after that, they started faking stuff, and after that, it wasn't very fun.
It became self-aware. Like that's
Yes.
Yeah, that's when humor dies, or the kind of humor you're looking for dies. Yeah, that's too bad.
Exactly. But now Jaffe is on, and Jaffe has his own show there with his son-in-law producer, I think, and they get into a couple of fights here and there. It's I don't think I think Jeffy is awesome on it, but I don't think he realizes that those shows are full. I don't know if he knows what locals are. Locals are like literally for people to laugh at, and I don't think he is one of those people. Um, so it kind of annoys me when they treat him like that. Because he's not a local like the other people on there, but he just wants to make good shows and he gets good views there. So I get it. Because those shows get pretty decent views.
Yeah, good. I mean, I think he's really. I think he's an incredibly talented broadcaster.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he has a lot of talent for it. I think he's gotten a lot better about interrupting people. I've noticed, and like that was all he had to do, and he became an S tier at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, that's so the cancer thing. I did see clips of that like making the rounds. I was thinking of something else. I don't know why I remember this because this is somewhat obscure, but maybe you would know it. Is that there was this guy named Matt who was like a YouTuber, and he like there was something about him going and collecting rocks. Do you know what I'm talking about with this? Like there's a thing where he like I wonder if anyone knows what I'm talking about out there. Like I remember seeing this clip of like a YouTuber named Matt, and like he like said that he was like driving around picking up rocks or something like that, and I remember seeing a clip about this. Like I don't even remember the whole context of it, but I remember thinking it was so funny. Crazy K Matt, it says Matt Jarbo. I think that's the guy's name.
Oh,
and it was
so
something like I wonder what he was collecting boulders. Like what was the joke about that? There was something about that I saw a clip about it that like stayed with me. Oh, what the fuck was it? Oh, this other guy knows. Oh, Shady G fell. Oh, Mike. Mundane Matt boulders. Mundane Matt getting caught flagging channels. Yeah, it was something about like it was something in this universe.
Oh,
but like, I wish I remembered the full context of the story because I remember it's very similar to how I saw the cancer thing, where I saw it like in a series of clips on Twitter, and I'm like, I don't know, I have no context for any of this, but it's so fucking funny. Oh my god, I am so happy that you guys are as brain rotted as I am, that there are multiple people in the chat that knew what I was talking about. Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you just stumble upon these weird little things, these weird YouTubers that do weird shit, and it's always so hilarious. But it's real. But because was this real, the boulder thing?
I think he was like, people are saying it. It's like it was something about flagging channels, and then he like was making an excuse as to why he wasn't like. Someone will remember better, but then he made some excuse like he was collecting boulders. Oh yeah, Shady G fella. He missed a stream confrontation, and the excuse was he was buying boulders.
That's awesome.
Yeah, at the time he was flagging, he claimed he couldn't have been doing that as he was collecting boulders. Dude, that's what I remember. That's what it was. And for some reason, I just was I thought it was the funniest shit I'd ever heard in my life. Where I'm like, this is awesome. This is so awesome. So I think it's similar kind of content. Dude, how do you guys remember that? I thought that was like so random, and it is random. But there's 800 of you in here. Someone knew what I was talking about. God bless. Should we get into some of these super chats?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Sure, we have quite a few to get through here. I don't know. Let's see. Fan funding. By the way, I didn't open up this stuff until a little later, so some of these are not going to appear on screen, and I apologize about that. Xnaught2000 wrote in and says, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Appreciate you. Zeron21 wrote in. You wrote into Sacred Symbols, I think, in the last week or two. I'm surviving UK heat in the AC-less apartment doing my final year project so I can leave this hell. Thanks for putting on the clown makeup every week. That's so funny that you said that before I even talked about putting on the clown makeup. Simpatico. Unbelievable synergies. We didn't talk about the AC situation. I won $1,000. Is that what I was told?
Yeah. Brock's, I don't know if he's still here. Brock's 38 said if he bet that if you wouldn't mention AC within the first 10 minutes, he would bet $1,000.
Wow. All right. So I don't need the money. I don't want you to send it to me. It's too weird that way. What I want you to do is I want you to donate it. Who should he donate the $1,000 to? The some sort of dog foundation. A foundation that treats dogs nicely. And I will accept your receipts via DM on Patreon as proof. Thank you for writing in.
Multiple people said me in the chat. Thunder Boy said me. So he can also donate to them, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want. It's too weird. Are you going to 1099 me? Like, I don't know exactly how that's going to work. Like, I don't want any of that heat from the IRS. So go ahead and donate those dollars, please, to a dog foundation, the Dog Foundation of America.
Sorry, Brock's 38, wherever you are. We saw what you said.
Owned.
Yeah. Yeah.
AC-less apart. Yeah, so it's going to be bad this week, huh? Like in Europe, or it's bad right now.
Well, it's better than last week was a disaster. I mean, I have AC, so I have no right to complain. But man, if I went outside, which I sometimes have to do to go to the store, I'm just melting. Like I can't imagine not having AC or not having like a mobile unit right now. There was this article on the news here of like people. I used to live in like this. What do you call it? Like a tower. Like I used to live in like a tower at the top with like a lot of apartments there.
Are you like the last boss?
No, what do you call that?
Like an apartment building?
Just like an apartment
like a skyscraper.
Yeah, like a skyscraper.
Yeah,
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. We used to call it a tower here. That's why.
I live in the top of the tower. All right.
But it used to get so hot there. Like it used to, because it all those apartments, they gather heat, so it
Right.
all rises to the top, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you live at the top, it's like impossible. And I didn't have AC there, so during the summer, I couldn't stay there. I would have to go to a hotel or somewhere else. It's just impossible. So well, I hate the heat. This
Yeah,
one
it's
time,
gross. It's gross.
this one time, the only thing, because I didn't have AC for the longest time. So this one time, I just gathered blocks of ice and put them all around my room and had fans everywhere. And then when I went to sleep, I could sleep for a couple of hours, and I woke up and my home room was flooded, of course, and there was water everywhere. The heat is horrible here, man. But I can't complain. I have AC. Thank
Yeah,
God.
that's good that you have AC. Yeah, the dialogue about it is funny. It is really interesting. I was saying that weeks ago that I think it's so funny. It's an annual thing. It's an annual tradition now. And now I must admit, my house on Long Island that I grew up in had AC ducts in it. My dad, it was built in 1985 or 86, so it was built for central air. But my dad refused to ever connect an air conditioning unit to it, so we just never ran it.
Oh.
And now we lived on near the water and all the rest, and it wasn't so bad. Like I don't remember broiling, but I didn't have AC until I was in high school, and at that point, I became pretty dependent on it, I would say. Now in San Francisco, you don't need it. It never ever gets this hot ever there. So.
Yeah, that's good.
Things aren't really built with it there. LA, you need it. Here, you need it. So I feel for people that don't have it, and I hope everyone's staying well and acclimating to the American invented air conditioner, invented by William Carrier in 1902.
Yeah.
Adopt it.
Thank God for him.
Adopt it. All right. Let's see. Oh, I got to go back to this. Sorry, we have a few more that are not going to appear on screen, I don't think. Any Revs 22 says, Locke, I hate to say it, but if we meet you guys in the round of 16, we have to send you packing. Be good, man. Yeah, so as I understand, if we win our game and you win your game, then we play each other, Belgium and the United States. I assume that's a bad draw for us. I mean, I was looking at it, even just my very peripheral soccer knowledge. Like I'm looking at the tables of and like the grid of teams, and I'm like, yeah, these are like the real teams. So now, like, you know what I mean? Like, seriously, like now it's like you're going to run into like buzzsaws at this point with a lot of these teams.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's so funny because normally the World Cup is like huge here, of course, in Belgium. It's like huge. Everybody watches it. And this year, nobody cares. I don't know why, but nobody
That's
cares.
interesting because you guys are still in it and you're good, right?
So, well, are we good? That's
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I think I mean, I didn't even watch it. I think we lost the first one and then tied this. I have no clue really. It's a miracle we're still in it. So we're gonna play against each other. Is that it? The next one?
I'll pull it up and we can look at it. Hold on. Let's use the wonders of technology. World Cup bracket. Okay. ESPN, they always have good stuff. Yeah, all right. So let's see here. I think I can do this. Whoa. It works, I think. Right?
Oh.
You can't. Yeah, you'd have to look at the stream to see it because you won't be able to see it.
Otherwise. Oh yeah, I have it up. But there's
okay,
there's
cool.
A small delay,
so yeah, let's see if we can find ourselves here. So yeah, United States and Bosnia Herzegovina, July 1st. So 2 days from now, And then you play Senegal the same day, right before, and then that feeds in here. So this would be us.
Hmm.
Very interesting. Canada's already moved on.
What day is that? Can you see? What day would we play against each
Ju-
other?
we would play each other July 6th, which
Day
is
that-
a Monday.
Oh, okay.
So a week from today.
Okay, cool. Well, may the best soccer team win. I hope.
Oh yeah,
We'll
oh
see.
yeah. I never transitioned the thing over, so no one ever saw any of it. Yeah, you're supposed to. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Um. So yeah, July 6th. It moves pretty quick now. July 1st, July 6th, July 10th.
Is
Yeah,
it
this will be over
is,
soon.
is it legal? Somebody said stream it, but
Is it
that's not a
legal? You said it like the character in Star Wars. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
You said it just like him, didn't he? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So, somebody said stream it, but that wouldn't be a fun stream, I think. But if it's like later at night, we could do that. We could make it fun and make like a US versus Europe thing. But you're gonna have to watch soccer, and that wouldn't be that fun. Maybe.
Are you going to tell me that you didn't do that on purpose?
No, well, now I'm gonna pretend I didn't. So no, I didn't do that on purpose. No,
Is it
wasn't.
legal? Funny times. Funny times. All right, so
But
there
I
it all
don't.
is. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Do you have to? I think people need to pay to stream that. I'm not sure. I think they
Yeah,
do.
probably. I mean that should be an option. I've said that about the NFL and Amazon and Thursday Night Football and Twitch. That it would be an interesting component of it as part of your perks of being a Twitch subscriber or whatever, or not a Twitch subscriber, but on Twitch, that like you can stream and live commentate over the Amazon game, and a person would connect their Amazon account to Twitch, like you would do to give free subscriptions away, and then you can watch it together. I thought that would be pretty cool. And those who figure that shit out quickly are going to win. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think there's an enormous amount of money to be made with that. Always thinking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Always got something going on in the old noggin. You know, Locke? Always something brewing in there.
Has to be. What am I? I'm drinking. Do you guys drink Coke Zero there?
Oh
That's
yeah.
all I
Coke
drink.
Zero is huge here. I don't drink it, but a lot of people do. Seems like it's the most popular like soft drink.
Yeah, I love it. It's water and Coke Zero. That's all I drink.
Yeah, it's I like just regular Coke and regular Pepsi. I know it's bad for you. I have 1 to 2 cans a day. And I drink a shit ton of water. But
That's good. Yeah.
I never like, Diet Coke, Diet Sprite, those kind of things. Like I just couldn't do it. I'm like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah, but
it's not right.
you have a normal adult human meal sized body. Like you're not fat like me or other people. So we have to. If I would drink regular Coke, I would blow up even further.
Are you would you consider yourself fat?
No, but I am. When I look at pictures of myself from like even 5 or 6 years ago, I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
Oh yeah, all
my
right. So
God.
to me, it's like I try to just be. I'm in better shape like physically than I've been in a long time, but I'm not as skinny as I used to be. Like
Sure,
I'm stronger than I used to be. Like because I've been lifting weights as best as I can for a few years now. Obviously, I had my injury that I had took me off of it for a while, and I do a shit ton of cardio.
That's good.
But
Yeah.
it's like I just do it. I just try to be aware. I've really tried to mitigate the snacking because as people know, I don't activate and I'll eat at 8 o'clock at night. And I don't eat all day. I eat at 8 o'clock at night. And then I usually have what I would have was like a snack at like midnight. Sure. So I'd go like 20 hours of OMAD basically a day. But what I found was that I was snacking too much. Like it would just not stop. Like I would eat the cashews, but I'd be eating like literally 1,000 calories in cashews or something, like something crazy because they're so fucking good.
Yeah.
And so what I decided to do was I was like, just make a second smaller meal. So like make a sandwich and some chips. Make like a little wrap burrito thing with some meat in it, whatever. And I've been doing that, and I lost 10 pounds. Nothing else changed.
Oh, okay, smart.
So interestingly enough, like, so literally I've been cracking open at midnight, like a second smaller meal, like a sandwich and chips and like another Coke or Pepsi or whatever. And I literally lost 10 pounds doing that. So it literally is just about input, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't eat, you don't have a sweet tooth. Like you don't eat like chocolate.
no,
or
no,
anything.
I'm thankful to not like, I like sweet drinks like lemonades and orange juices and stuff like that. That would, I would say would be my sweetness Achilles heel. And then carbs. Like dude, I could eat bagels and bread and fucking tortillas and rice and potatoes like all day.
Nice.
And I have to stop myself. I have the mentality of a morbidly obese person. I was aware of this. I was aware of this earlier in my life. And I think I just described it on another show like that. I started when I gained weight and I was at my heaviest 200 pounds, which was in 2010. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, and I was like, I gotta tamp this down. I can't eat like I used to eat because I ate whatever I wanted until I was 25 years old, and it was grotesque. And then it started to catch up with me, and I just needed to make adjustments. So I know some people really enjoy working out. Like they love going to the gym. They love, like, I do it because I have to. I do it because I know, like, I do it begrudgingly. I do it. I work hard. I do it. I do it daily, and I'm consistent. But I don't like it. So I just, it's one of the concessions I have to make. You know, I don't like
that's smart. But it's discipline. At least you do it. I just don't do it. So you have discipline. That's good.
Yeah, like yeah, discipline's important. I am disciplined. I also think I think a lot of my discipline comes from my obsessiveness. Like, people I think have identified and observed over the years that I have an obsessive personality about things, and it's like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And if I'm going to have a point of doing it, then I'm just going to do it every day. I mean, that's how I fucked up my arms when I was lifting the first time, because I wouldn't give myself any breaks. I lifted every day, and you're really not supposed to do that. So now I lift every other day.
Good.
Yeah,
it's healthy.
You know who's gotten powerful? Micah.
Powerful.
Micah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh.
She's like, so we have downstairs, like when you walk into our house, we have like right to your left, it's like a little, it's supposed to be like a home office. It's got like the glass door thing, you know, like it, but we just made it in our home gym. So like we have the elliptical in there, like the bench, like a bike, some different accoutrements and whatever. And she's really into it. Over the last, I would say, she's been doing it for a few years probably, but like really into it the last year. And it's like
nice
protein maxing and taking creatine and
going
on like constant walks to like keep her metabolism going. And yeah, like it's just really interesting. And you can feel it like when I touch her arms, like I feel her arms grab, you know, when I grab her violently, I'm like, why? You're like, I'm like, wow, you're like you can feel it. Like that she's like gotten stronger, you know? And I'm like, I think you could I'm already kind of the woman in the relationship as it is. And I feel like this puts me in an even more feminine, subservient role because now she's physically dominant over me as well. Which I've been very mindful of.
Well, so is her co-host. Have you seen Brad's arms?
Yeah, Brad, everyone's doing great, dude. I'll tell you, man. You just got to get out there and do it. Do you have a gym in your neighborhood? Do you want it, or do you want to lift? What would you do? What would be your flavor of workout? Do you want to do cardio or do you want to?
I always wanted. Well, always wanted. It's not like I can't do it, but I think at some point I want to buy like what do you call it, a Peloton or
the Peloton.
Like
they were big for a minute.
Yeah, I think that would be perfect for me. But what does that do? Maybe that's not right for me. So I just have to lose fat. Like it's not like I want muscle. I just want to be skinny again.
Yeah, I mean, I think cardio would be good for that. But yeah, have you ever tried intermittent fasting?
No, but people tell me I should.
I mean, that's what that's what I do. Like, I don't eat from midnight-ish until 8 p.m. So like, again, it's 20 hours. And they say that that's really good for insulin normalcy and all of the rest. And you also can only do so much damage to yourself. And you don't have to go 20 hours. A lot of people go 12 or 16. But you might want to consider that. I mean, like, because if you can only eat so much in 4 hours or 3 hours or 2 hours, or whatever. So if you just say like, even then it's like, I'm going to eat whatever I want and like until I'm full, but I'm only going to do it in this period. And then I'm not eating. You'll probably lose weight just doing that.
Yeah, that's good advice. But do you notice like a lack of energy during the day or not? Because that would be my worry.
No, but I know that I'm used to it. I've never liked breakfast. I like breakfast food, but I was always like people put food in my face when I wake up. I want to like throw up.
Mm.
And then like I'm just used to. I think I'm just used to it. But I know people like Mike is one of these people where she has to eat, or like she gets like. I think it's a little dramatic if I'm being honest, but she has to eat. And I'm only kidding. I wonder if she's listening. She's gonna get mad at me. You know, like she gets like lightheadedness, and I know people like that too. So it's simply you have to kind of just monitor what's where. I'm not a medical doctor, believe it or not. So don't go to me for your advice.
When I faint and they find me dead in my apartment, I'll tell the doctor. Yeah, but Colin told me to.
Yeah,
do it.
Dr. Moriarty, MD, School of Hard Knocks.
But no, people have been telling me that I should try that's really healthy. So I will at some point, I guess. But can you eat everything when you like?
I do.
Time's up. Okay.
I will be clear. I've made no dietary concessions whatsoever as far as what I eat. I just because that is my concession. Is like, all right, I just won't eat it 3 times, but I'm going to eat it once. Okay. And because I also understand that I'm never going to be 150 pounds again. Yeah, like it's not going to happen. That's ridiculous. Yeah. It's way too small anyway. But having this level of control over one's diet, I think too goes to show someone that it's actually within your control, whether you want to do it, whether you have the willpower. I make mistakes. I'm going to probably gain a few pounds this summer because I have the Pavlovian response of going into the pool and having to have a beer. Like I have to have a beer. Oh, so that's going to be a problem. Yeah. You know, it's going to be a problem for me.
Of course.
But like I know that I'm not delusional about it. That's the thing that bothers me about people that gain weight or are heavy or whatever, and like they're delusional. It's like, dude, there's no secret as to why you're heavy. You have to either do something about it or not. But like, it's not a secret, and and it literally is just it is. I know people there's like there's edge cases. I assume, but like calories in, calories out. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's definitely true. Definitely true. For me, it's because I don't move anymore. Before COVID, I didn't work from home, so I walked everywhere constantly. But now, where do I walk to? Nowhere. So
I think that went a long way to moderating my weight when I lived in San Francisco. Was because I did do a lot of cardio there too, but like I was walking everywhere, and that's a cumulative effect of something that you lack when you live in a more sedentary lifestyle, which is why I had to be more intentional about it when I moved to Virginia. And I think it was the same way in LA actually, was I was just walking around a lot. So
that's smart.
Yeah.
I'll look into that. That's smart.
All right, let's see. Let's go back to fan funding here and see we're missing things, I'm sure. Wait a minute. Are these? Oh, you know what? I've been reading these backwards, I think, for the last few ones. So I'm sorry about that. We'll get to yours and we'll show them on screen. I apologize. All right, we have one more. Albert Poolhalls wrote in, and then we'll get into the ones on the screen. Are you familiar with Killzone Shadowfall collectible comics that depict a World War I aesthetic origin story? This should be a game, first or third person. Would all of Killzone's previous MP content work as well as live service? I think you're asking 2 different things here. I vaguely remember that, but I've never read any of that stuff about Shadowfall. You know how I feel. I think Killzone can live again. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think they can lean into it in a really interesting and current way to make it very exciting for people. Killzone's previous MP content, I would want them to kind of approach MP fresh. Killzone was big for PlayStation, but it wasn't big. It's iconic to a small group of people, no bigger than people that played Killzone online. I mean, between the games, you're talking about maybe a few million people that played any of them. So, in my opinion, not really worth going back to. All right, let's see. Are we where we need to be now? I think so. Oh, this is the scrolling thing, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Brox38 wrote in and said, Colin ranting about soccer time keeping is like me ranting about the broken electoral college. He says collage, but it's college voting system and nonsensical American standards. Save me. I'm going to say it again. Like I love this because it's so fucking stupid that you never see anyone defend it. Like on the merits. You never ever see anyone say like, no, it makes sense for this reason. It's like, no, it's just the way it is, mate. And you're American. Who do you think you are? Like that's always the answer. I've seen it more and more. I was watching a game the other day between Egypt and someone where like the extra time was like 6 minutes and they were playing into 9 minutes to the point where the team was being like, what? Like they were all like had their hands in the air being like, what are we doing? Like what? Like the game's over. It's over. And they're like, no, it's over when we say it's over. And that's it.
It's the injury time. It's the time they wasted during the game. What doesn't make sense to you about that? It's the time that they wasted during the game.
Right, but it's not equivalent to the time that was wasted during the game. That's my point.
Well, it's not exactly like
not even close.
It's like
not even close.
Well, they do their best. Like the refugees or refugees. What am I saying?
Oh no.
What are they called? Like the
referees.
Referees.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The referees are that's why they're so important to soccer, right? Or to football or whatever you want to call it. By the way, the guy who super chatted this is the one who owes you $1,000.
Oh, well, you have a little more to kick in, but we appreciate that in the meantime.
Somebody said send the refs back.
Send the refs back. The referees come over on boats, small boats. Yeah, like it's just I explained this, and I think Pork Poncho was getting mad about it, and some other people was like, just stop the clock. When you score a goal, stop the clock until the ball's back in play, and then you wouldn't have to have these arbitrary numbers at the end. And it's got to, like, so you're saying, like, I understand the way the extra time works. It's like, hey, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. I'm like, you're talking about maybe 10% of the time that was wasted. Like, there's no universe in that half that there were 3 minutes wasted. I watched a game where the referee was injured for half of the extra time and was just injured and the clock was just running. They run the clock during the hydration break now that they're doing or whatever. I'm like, this is not, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's so obviously bullshit. It is what it is. You're going to feel how you feel about it. It's totally fine. It's a fucking conspiracy is what it is.
You can't stop time. Like that's not a thing people can do. Like the time continues regardless of if you press a clock or not. So that's why they do it that way. But I get what you're saying.
You're telling me that they can't stop the clock in soccer because time inexorably marches. Is that the argument you just made? That like it's a philosophical thing?
No, it's not a philosophical thing. Like the time the soccer game is it's 90 minutes, but it starts at this point, it's 90 minutes until then. Like you can't that's the time that it is.
It's the beautiful game, man.
But I see what you mean. You probably make more sense.
It just stopped the clock.
Yeah. We'll never do it that way.
I know. I understand that. I understand completely. Believe me. All right. Or is it Swagler Rock? All right, yeah, that probably makes sense. Says, I never get to watch these live. When are we bringing back the Sacred League? Probably we'll have to wait for Dustin to come back. Maybe, I don't know when I really don't know when he's coming back. Like, I have no idea. I was going to, yesterday when I was doing payroll, I was going to tweet. I actually wrote it and I just didn't end up tweeting it out, where I was like, I'm doing payroll right now. Going to play a little trick on Dustin while he's gone by not paying him. And then I was afraid people were just going to get mad and upset about it. So I was like, all right, forget it. So we have to wait for him to come back and for Brad to be available. So, sure. But yeah, we'll get it going again. I really enjoy those as well. I thought everyone's doing a really good job. I did the best job, but no one gave me any credit for it. All right, let's see. Dustin, I'm always busting Dustin's balls about scrolling and him talking about scrolling, but you got to do it. You know?
Now you know.
All right. Oh, this is a nice one. Bench Frog wrote in and said, what do you think about the Epstein files so far and the people implicated, including the 2 presidents? I've not really read. Like, I think there's a website you can go to where you can, like, go into it, search for things. There's, like, a whole index. I've not done any of that. So I've only seen, like, some of the reporting. And I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. Because some of the insinuation about the things were happening makes it seem like it's unthinkable that these people could still walk the face of the planet. Which makes me feel like there's so much mis and disinformation about all this shit. I don't know. I really don't know. Do I believe it? About like the 2 presidents and other powerful people? Sure. I believe it. But, you know, I don't know. Who are the 2 presidents? So it would be Trump and then Clinton. But Trump, did he go to the island? Is that the thing?
I don't
or did
think
Clinton
he
go
went
to the island?
I don't think Trump went there, but there's like a lot of other accusations there. But I think Clinton went there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I wonder. Like, there's so much to wonder. It seems it's like the alien thing, where it's like it's so unbelievable and conspiratorial and deep, like deep level CIA shit or something, you know, like a honeypot to implicate powerful and rich people. It seems almost like a conveyor belt, systemic, like a factory. And you imagine that if that's true, there's like compromise of like crazy levels of people.
Well, don't you? I always think it's so weird that we know this stuff happened. Like it's on paper right there. We saw it happening. Like there's other stuff too, like the aliens too, right? Like we don't really know. But then people just drop it or forget about it. I can't comprehend that. Like the Epstein files is like a perfect thing. Like he killed himself and the cameras were off. It's like how are people just letting that go? Like how come there's no repercussions or
I don't know. I don't. It's the same thing about the alien stuff where I'm like, what are you saying? Why isn't this like the biggest?
Yeah.
What are you saying? You know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you're saying that there's interdimensional beings living in the ocean.
Yeah.
And everyone's, hey, what's the score of the ball game?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with this. Yeah. It's like, so you're saying there's like a ring of child predators that are billionaire hedge fund managers that were operating an island where famous and rich people would come have sex with these people and they would get compromat on them. Did you go to the PTA meeting this afternoon to check in on your child and his progress?
That's insane. It's insane. Nothing matters anymore at a certain point then, I guess. But I mean, everybody does it. I do it too. You do. Everybody does it. Like people just forget very easily, I guess, or just don't really care that much. It's.
I guess I'm part of the problem because I'm not like thinking about it every second of the day.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, but it's just so much information constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's funny, man. Like I keep going back to the UFO thing, but like that is so conspicuous that it feels intentional. Yeah. Like it feels like it's frankly, a failed attempt to obfuscate something. And people didn't even care enough about whatever they were trying to hide to buy into the things that they were saying. Like, I hope that's not true because I want it to be real so bad.
Yeah.
But like, there are so many legitimate questions. And it's the same thing with the Epstein stuff. And I do appreciate that there's that journalist that a lot of people don't like, Michael Tracy, that's like really skeptical of all the Epstein stuff. Yeah. And I appreciate that there's those kinds of people to agitate on the other side, because hopefully like there'll be some sort of mixture where like whatever's true will just come out. Like he's like mega critical of that Virginia Giuffre woman and all these other things, and like and you never hear that in the mainstream, right? And so it's like, well, somewhere, but you're like the truth lies. I don't really know. But you're right, like the whole camera situation, and it's like, this is insanity.
It's insane. It's insane. But I can't believe has there been repercussions for that? Like, have they talked to, or I'm sure they've talked to the prison guards, but like, has there been like an investigation? Or
I really don't know much about it. I really don't. I assume so. I mean, you assume that they must have.
Yeah.
But it's just it's preposterous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's preposterous.
Same with the aliens in the ocean. Like, did anybody go down there and look? Like, what's going on?
I don't. Like, that's the crazier thing is like, you're telling me that like there are aliens here?
Yeah.
And they've just been here? What? Everything has to stop. Like I need to know more about that.
Yeah.
Let's stop all this other nonsense. Like, so you like, that's a real government, like a functioning society would do that. Would be like, wait a minute. If what you're saying is true, that is the biggest discovery in the history of humanity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or completely world-shattering discovery. I think we need to know more about that. Let's stop with all the other nonsense and figure that out. That there might be intergalactic beings among interstellar species living on our planet. I know the World Cup's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Do you believe all the footage that's out there now? Because you see more and more UFO footage. For the
Yeah, I've
longest
seen a lot
time,
of it. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you feel like that's real, or what do
I
you
think
feel
some of
about
the stuff is definitely real. Like that's the thing, like the Tic Tac video and all the stuff from like the early 2000s that were like from the Navy. I think all that shit's totally real. I think some of it is definitely like phenomena, you know, like aerial phenomena. But
Sure.
the thing that bothers me, and I think it's a completely legitimate thing, completely legitimate, and it is like the Achilles heel of it, is like there's not one solid video of any of this. There's not one picture.
That's it, right?
You know, there's not
that's the thing
one
that bothers
thing
me
that
too.
looks right. It always looks like it's far away. It always is distant. It's always like it's never. No one has like the crisp picture of it.
Yeah.
I just feel like
Or
I'm like,
shitty.
what? Like I just like, how can it's like it's like Bigfoot and like all of the that shit. It's like, come on, man. At some point, there's got to be like a 4K trail camera set up to catch the thing, right?
Yeah,
Like,
especially now, especially these days. Like, yeah, that's exactly the same problem I have with it too. Like, it all looks so real, and then you think about it, and you're like, why isn't there any normal footage of it, or stills, or why aren't there actual aliens, or why haven't we seen anything? And it's also, why are they releasing it so weird? Right? Like, they're not outright admitting that they're real, but they kind of are, but then they're not in the files, but they are releasing some files, and then some guy gets on Rogan and talks about it there, but then another guy talks about it there, but they never outright say, yeah, they're real, here they are, look
yeah,
at them.
it's funny because I know Mike, my friend Mike's listening to this now, and this was my big problem with it because he's really into it too, and I'm like, and I've told him after a while, I'm like, enough. It's like enough. Like until someone has to say something at some point. And it actually bothers me, like the David Thrush guy or whatever, Grush. I understand these guys are like like their liberties at stake. They are sworn into these top secret programs and beyond top secret, and these totally no one knows about this kind of shit sort of thing. And I appreciate that, but at the same time, it's like, why don't you just say it and dare them to disappear you? I know it's easier said than done, but like there could be a whole apparatus of people that are just watching you forever that like hide you and refuse. Like if you've been read and all this stuff and then fucking say it. Say it.
Yeah.
Say everything in the greatest detail that you know.
Yeah.
And until someone does that, it's like I'm kind of over it. You know, like I'm kind of.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Because I do believe there's something weird going on. And I do like the explanation that and this is what's so crazy about science. What I love about all this shit is that like there are a lot of serious scientists that study these sorts of things that say, should this be real, it's actually more likely that they are somehow interdimensional than they are interstellar.
Yeah. I've heard that too. That's really cool. That's even cooler.
Because like it is so much more like it is so unlikely for us to encounter a living species at the same time in our space. You know, back to the Fermi paradox and all that kind of stuff of like, where is everyone? Like, why haven't, if it's so common and we're beaming our existence out, then we don't see anything. And they're like, yeah, because it's probably like they're from another dimension of our space or from the future.
Yeah, from the future. Yeah, that's
or something like that. And it's like, that's fucking dope.
Yeah,
you know.
I love that,
But it sounds so dope that you don't know if someone like me wrote it. You know, or if it's actually real. Do you know the other thing that I'm fascinated by is that there was that who's the guy from that claimed he worked at Los Alamos? Well, his name's slipping my memory right now. Claimed Los Alamos scientist. Oh, what is his name? Bob Lazar, right? Bob Lazar.
Oh yeah. He was on Rogan too. Yeah.
Right. So I've known about him forever. Dagan and I have always talked about how like we're really into like this weird shit, like the coast to coast stuff. Like since the '90s, Dagan and I have been into all this weird, like, and he used to scare the shit out of me with this stuff. So he's been around since the '80s. But what I'm so fascinated about with him is that like some of the stuff that he's been saying since the '80s seem to be what these guys are saying. And I am like there are so many holes in Bob Lazar's story, and yet I am fascinated by the fact that he was in the Los Alamos laboratory phone book. Like Micah and I talk about that sometimes. It's like it was such a if it was real, it's such a deep psyop that like
Yeah.
they literally miss something. Like where it's like no one knows who you are.
Hmm.
No one here has any idea who you are. You were never here. You never worked here. And you're not going to find any evidence to the contrary. And he's in the fucking phone book. And and if that was real, they were probably like, oh, fuck.
It's crazy, right?
You know,
Yeah.
like that kind of level of insanity. And I'm like, he's very compelling now because I'm like, because he would say something specifically about a certain unstable element, like really late in the elemental table that like we don't really even understand. And that's like the key to it. And that apparently that's like some of the shit they're saying. And it's like, huh. And they basically insane. Found like some dude who was probably really smart, but was easy to scapegoat and make look like a loser and a liar.
Yeah.
You know? He didn't really have an education. He's kind of into this weird shit like rocket cars and all this kind of stuff. And they just like maybe discredited him. They set him up classic stuff. So I don't know. I'm fascinated by that. It's good shit. Love that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get like some definitive stuff, but we won't, of course. But at some point it would just be so cool to know what it actually is, right?
Yeah. I think it's clear that it's not necessarily an immediate danger to us. Like I think we should feel okay about it. I obviously they have such power that they could eradicate us like this if they wanted to, considering the fact that they're just here, apparently. But they don't. So
was it ever confirmed what those drones were? Like, remember?
Like around the Capitol or whatever. Yeah, I do remember that. I think the Trump administration came out and said that it was like some military thing or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, all right. Well, I don't know, man. Whatever. Like, I don't want to be one of those guys. Like, there are conspiracy theories I believe, and there are conspiracy theories I don't believe.
Sure. Of course.
You know, on one end of the spectrum, it's like, yeah, obviously there's a major conspiracy around JFK's assassination. On the other end of this, the edge is like, we obviously went to the moon. Look at the fucking moon. Yeah. You can see the evidence of it. And in between those two extremes, or those two types of extremes, are many things. And I don't want to be poison-minded and being like, everything's a conspiracy. But come on, dude.
Sure.
Like, come on.
There has to be something. Yeah,
anyway, what's the score of the game? I'm that guy. I say that. I'm like, anyway, I'm gonna go float around in the pool.
Everyone is like that, I feel. Yeah.
The aliens were installing cameras in my fucking bathroom watching me get undressed. All right. This one's from Sergeant Daniels. It says, I'll pay to help Locke come to the States.
Oh.
We invited you to our wedding, didn't we?
No, I don't think we were friendly. Well, we were friendly, but we hadn't talked back then yet. Because that was a while ago.
Yeah, you're right. Ago, right. Oh, you know who that was? That was Barry. Another foreigner. But only Canadian.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Because that would have been a nice excuse. It's too bad.
Yeah.
I talk about that with Gene sometimes. Like, that was the first time we ever met Gene in person. Was at our wedding. So the good timing on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, everybody went to that. I think Ben was there too. Dustin, yeah, of course. Dustin,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, who knows? Maybe we'll have another one in the future.
Yeah, get married again.
All right, let's see. MMA fighter ZW says, if we conquered Canada during the War of 1812 and all of Mexico during the Mexican-American War, how would history change? Would we be better off today? It's an interesting question. There are maps like that went around in the 1840s and 1850s of what the vision of the United States was. The idea of freelancing, which was back then like sending private armies to like the Central and South America and just agitating. We were out of our minds. If you look at those maps, like we would have even Caribbean holdings, Cuba, like the Yucatan Peninsula, all of Baja California, and then all the way up, like that would connect land to Alaska, ultimately. Who knows? That might still be your future. So we'll see what happens. No, I'm only kidding. That's not going to happen. One of the great advantages the United States has is having we have peaceful neighbors. Like, we actually have good relationships with our neighbors. We did fight wars with both of them, interestingly. But we have our biggest danger on our border is just Mexico's relative instability. but it's not like an unfriendly thing. It's like they have big problems with their cartels and stuff like that. And it's not good for us that like there's a narco state on our border, but
Sure.
maybe I just have a soft spot for the Mexicans. Canada, specifically Alberta, Saskatchewan, maybe Manitoba. You're on the clock. All right. I did like the drive, by the way, for Greenland. Like,
oh God,
like
Yeah.
I don't want to take it, but it would be good for us to get that.
Did you see them? Did you see who was it sent their military there to guard it just in case?
Yeah, good.
Just in case, yeah.
All the fresh water. That's what I'm interested in. There's obviously massive mineral rights there and defense, of course. But that's up to them. And they don't really seem... I don't think we... The Danish I'm less worried about. I don't think we approached the Greenlanders very well. Like, we got to try again in the future. We got to give it a little bit of time and we'll try again. Like, we could... I've thought about this where it's like, there's 50,000 of them, something like that, right?
Something like that.
It's like, we could give each of them $1 million.
But then their economy would be shot.
Right,
so
but like maybe it's like use that $1 million and maybe we'll give them American citizenship.
Oh, okay, that would be interesting.
I mean, if we acquire the territory, they would become American.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone takes $1 million and then maybe you fuck off to California or something. You know, you go and live a nice life in Miami. You don't have to.
It's got to be up to the people. Yeah.
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
want that shirt.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
But yeah, the water is what I think is going to be really useful for us.
Remember when that guy from Nestle tried to do that a couple of years ago?
Wait, what was it?
Was it like a decade ago? He wanted to like own all the water supplies in the world.
It's like a fucking villain. Yeah, it's like a super villain thing. It's like something Cobra would do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Last minute guess. For 3 years, I have played on PC. I bought a PS5 Pro before the price hike, and I have been trophy hunting nonstop. Is there a cure to this disease? Yes, it's death. No, I mean, no, not really. I mean, people come and go. It's about like your own commitment to it. First of all, congratulations on your PS5 Pro before the price hike. It's like that meme of the guy standing, like the European guy standing on the balcony overlooking everyone down below. It's like that's how you feel when you got the PS5 Pro early. But welcome to the disease that is trophy hunting. And I just platinumed Luna Abyss last night. Have you seen that game or played that game? Luna Abyss?
No, I've heard about it. I've heard you talk about it on. Oh, because I edited Summon Design. That's why I saw it.
Yeah. So I finally platinumed it I beat it and platinumed it last night. It's a really good game. Something very melancholy.
Nice.
About playing a game from a team that died right after releasing it. You know, it's like for me, I was Mike and I were talking about it. I'm like, it's got a lot of Expedition 33 sensibilities. I don't want to say it's inspired by it. It's not. They were in development at the same time, but like, it's kind of like the Expedition 33 of like cerebral first person shooter kind of thing.
Yeah,
I really like that game a lot. I thought it was really, really good. I don't really understand the whole breadth of the story. It's quite deep, but I liked playing it a lot.
Did you finish Lego Batman, or you're still playing it?
Yeah, I'm on and off on it. It's not a game I can play all the way through. I actually started Grand Theft Auto 5 last night as well. On PS5, which I have not played. So yeah, let me see here. Where are we now? Okay. Definition 91 says, never usually get to catch these streams, but I'm laid up at home with a busted ankle, and this will help keep my sanity. Thanks for the goods, boys. Thank you for being here. I'm so sorry to hear about your ankle. Hope you are well. It's always shitty to like fuck your body up in some fundamental way.
Yeah.
Where like you're debilitated by it. Not like a little scratch or a little bump or a bruise or you're a little achy. Like something that like takes you out of the game. It's a bummer. Be well.
Better.
Project Aries says, I'm never overly positive and never depressed. Is there a name for my condition? Normal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's normal, yeah.
I mean, honestly, like that's the ideal. Never overly positive about never getting too high, I think is really good. Or stay expectation, I think really comes in and anticipation. These are things that really ruin and erode people's lives. If you stay
Mm.
nice and even, I think you're pleasantly surprised, but you're not so disappointed. And never being depressed, I can't relate to that. By the way, I'm always making fun of myself for being depressed in this and that and the other thing. I want to be clear, like, I'm fine. I am like diagnosed depressed, but
Mm.
I don't feel like this dark cloud over my head or everything every day. It's a state of mind, perhaps a way of living that I'm just kind of used to. Don't want to make people feel like I'm like in that dark of a place.
Do you do you take medication for it, or did you stop?
Yeah, I still am on Lexapro, but
Mm.
that's for well, I'm only on for 10 milligrams now, but which is a fraction of what I used to be on. And then I stopped taking Ativan and I stopped taking
Okay,
gabapentin and some, yeah. So
nice.
like I was on way more.
Yeah,
I wanna, I think these are great tools and they really helped me,
sure.
and I'm appreciative of them. I needed them to like operate and function and like get through the periods of my life. But like it becomes a crutch for a lot of people, and I want
Yeah,
to get away from it. I realized at some point that I just stopped kind of feeling like high
normal.
or
Yeah,
low, and I was like, well, that's not great. Like I don't want to be like a zombie. I needed to be a zombie for a while, but I don't want to be a zombie forever.
sure. Yeah, yeah. That's what it does, right? That's the effect. Yeah.
All right. Fantasy not fan 93 says if USA and Belgium each win, they will play each other. If USA wins, Locke plays every Mega Man game. If Belgium win, Colin must play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. No bets.
Deal.
We're not. I'm not.
Deal. Bet is on. Done.
That's too much of an investment for both of us. For me especially.
Yeah.
Like playing every Mega Man game is still substantial. That's take a while.
It's a
You
couple
don't
of
have to do
hours.
that. We're not. We should save a bet for something we're really invested in.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
really
yeah.
could.
That makes
I mean,
sense.
I want to be clear. I want us to win, and I would think it would be the funniest thing in the world if we ever won the World Cup, which I don't think really can happen right now, but maybe in the future. So I want that, but I don't. Again, I have no expectations of that. And by the way, I don't think that would be a really good bet for me. I'm pretty sure Belgium's better than the United States.
No, maybe we used to be, but well, I don't even know because I haven't watched any games this year, so I can't even comment on it. I hope so. We'll see. We'll
All right,
see.
let's see. The Uncharted Wolf says, please rate my trophies, Colin. Uncharted Wolf 5 on PSN Profiles. Currently working on the GTA 5 plat. Awesome to have the homie Lock on. All right, I'll do this. PSN Profiles. Uncharted Wolf 5. All right, let's see. Yeah, the GTA. So I started GTA 5. Actually, it's funny that you bring this up because I thought this was really fascinating and telling. You get this Welcome to Los Santos trophy after you get through like the intro sequences. Probably takes 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It has this is the PSN profile one, but the actual number is 40.8% of people. That just goes to
Wow.
show you the relative strength of GTA Online. Now, if you go to the PS3 version, it's like 85%, and I think the PS4 version. Let's look at the PS4 version now and see. Can't see, my fucking water's in the way. There we go.
Is this the first time you're ever playing it? You've played
No,
it on
I
PS3.
never beat it, but I played it back when it came on
Sure.
PS3. I never played it on
Yeah.
PS4. So yeah, it's a little higher here at 89%. So people are just transferring their saves, I guess, or whatever between it. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's not what we were here to look at. Let's see. So you have 103 platinums. That's very good. Yeah, 007 was a good one to get. Vampire Crawlers, I have that one as well. Overwatch.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
But then, let's see. You got to get the Requiem one. That was a fun one to get. I got the platinum in that one. That was a nice one. Dark Souls Remaster. That's a real boy one. What is this game? Akambot. I don't even know what this is. Action. Anyway, looks good. Could be better. No, it's fine.
Oh,
It's great. Meatball says, Locke, can you give us 10 to 15 minutes on that famous Belgian leopard? Marsu Palami 2 Salsa Palombia. Did I just like say a curse or?
No,
Yeah.
you said that this is maybe you remember this, or maybe you don't. During one of those showcases, they showed like the famous Belgian leopard, but we don't have any leopards here. We live in we're nowhere near Africa, or we're nowhere near the desert. But apparently, this is a game based on some creature called the marsupilami or something. I've never heard of it, and it certainly isn't Belgium. But apparently its creator is like Belgian, and he created this character, and now they're making a game of it. But the marketing was pretty funny.
This is it here.
The native Belgian leopard. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Yeah, like we don't have these creatures here. They're like so we. I don't know why they called it the famous Belgian leopard, but yeah, that's him.
The famous Belgian leopard. Very good.
That's him. Can't wait.
Eugene's says, thank you for your donation. Thank you for your donation. Let me pause. This is distracting me in the corner of my eye. Eugene says again, Colin, give us your thoughts about your disappointment with Donald J. Trump's politics not delivering on his promises. I mean, I kind of talked about this last week. You know, I don't know if I want to really get all into it again. You can go listen to that, I guess. Oops, I didn't mean to click the next one. Sorry. The war in Iran was a huge mistake, and I think a completely administration destabilizing move, and certainly pisses me off. And when they said mass deportations, I don't think they really meant it, and that's another thing. So yeah, I don't think he's followed through at all on the things he said he was going to do. But I guess we'll have to try again in 2028 to elect someone that will. But yeah, you know what the other thing is that more acutely is that it just doesn't feel like the 250th anniversary of the United States next week or this week. There's like a malaise. I get it. Everyone seems upset about everything. Everyone hates each other. It's not a great timing for the 250th anniversary, you know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you want to hear all about that, you can listen to last week's stream. Shunk Super wrote in and said, the solo streams are the funniest I've seen you been, Colin. Have you or Locke seen the video Awkward Lara Croft Late Toy Show? Check the comments. I haven't. I mean, I can look. Lara Croft. All right, hold on a second. I found it. This will work. Is this sound coming through for everyone?
Can
you hear it?
Yeah. We're gonna have to wait what they say because I have to watch it on my own.
Yeah, no audio.
No audio.
Let's see. Well, I don't know what to do about that. Sorry. We'll have to watch it another time. We've come this far.
Why does it have? You have Dutch captions on. You see that?
Yeah. Why is that?
Huh.
English subtitle is Dutch auto-generated. Is it a Dutch show? No, it's British, it sounds like.
Yeah. Huh.
That's weird. Does it think that?
Does it? Well, it can't know. We haven't spoken Dutch.
Yeah.
That's creepy, man.
I don't know.
It knows.
Who cares?
It knows.
Pedro Garcia says, what is your favorite GTA memory? I have really fond memories of getting I mean, I got them all at launch, but GTA Vice City especially, like, it was so exciting. The music, the soundtrack, the marketing campaign for that game was huge, and I really, really have a soft spot for that game. They made it very quick. It's not great, really, when you go back and look at it. I want to replay it again before 6 comes out if I can. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time, but yeah, just getting that game and riding the motorcycles and like doing all sorts of cool stuff in that game. There's a lot of fun memories of all of them. They're all great. They're all great games, and I would love for them to make 4 available on PlayStation. It's a little frustrating. Yes. I see here CM Walsh says, "Holy crap, a late toy show appearance." And yeah, Irish, not British. It's the same thing.
Oh. Did, did you see the rumor that GTA 6 is, or rumor? Nobody knows anything about that game, so it's not really a rumor. Somebody made up a story that it's gonna have the same stuff that San Andreas had, where you could get fat. Remember that? I love that in San
Oh,
Andreas.
you like that? Yeah, I thought the sim
Yeah.
features went a little too far in that game, but
Oh, you didn't like
that
that?
cool.
Oh,
Well, I don't know that it was what I want in Grand Theft Auto. I can see
sure.
that being a cool option. It's like when you play hardcore mode in a Fallout game. It's like, yeah, go sleep and eat and shit like that if that's what you want to do, but don't make that the function of the game.
Sure. Well,
For me.
but yeah, I get that. But it wasn't like RPGified, right? Like it just, if you happen to eat like a lot of burgers, you would just get fat, but it didn't really matter for the game, right?
Yeah, like right, exactly. And it was a cool. It was part of that era. You appreciate it because, or I do, because it's like they tried to do something. They tried.
Yeah.
Vice City was really a reskin, but like San Andreas was both a bolder and bigger game, and they definitely. I just think they went too far with it. But I haven't.
Yeah.
It's funny. I haven't replayed Vice City or San Andreas in over 20 years. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Hell yeah.
I own them. I have that trilogy, and I went a year or two ago. I played all through 3, and I really was like, yeah, this game's fucking awesome. Like I love this game. It really was. That was incredibly that was a mind blowing game. It really was. Where I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
what is this? It was like when I played Fallout 3 for the first time and a few other games. It's like that's one of those kinds of games where I was like, this is incredible. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Oh, Pedro wrote it in. He says, my favorite memories when I bought GTA 4 in 6th grade. I bought my PS3 in '07 to play this game. Then I was mad when the DLC went to 360. Yeah, that sucked. We had to wait for the DLC. They were in bed with Grand Theft Auto, or Rockstar was in bed with Xbox 360 at that time. That wasn't unusual. It reminds me of Fallout 3 situation as well. BioShock being and Mass Effect and all these other games being kind of timed exclusives. It was a little frustrating back in the day. But it all worked out in the end. Yeah, that is a good memory. GTA 4, you were in 6th grade. I was at IGN at the time. It was 2008, so I would have been 24. So a little bit different. All right. Let's see. Daddy T says, this man didn't even know Tommy was the sniper. How did we expect him to stream on his own? And yet I did it. But I did stream on my own twice. The Assassin AK wrote in and said, Colin, playing GTA 5 is awesome. Can't wait to hear his thoughts as he plays through it. The GTA 6 hype is getting very real. We are so close. It is exciting that we are getting close just because the game is such a mystery, and I really hope they keep it that way.
Yes.
Now, of course, that's all opt-in. I can keep it that way for myself, and I probably will. I wouldn't mind seeing a little gameplay and just seeing like beat-to-beat gameplay and what it looks like, but there's something very exciting about not knowing this close. And again, as I made the argument on wherever I made it on Sacred or wherever the fuck it was, it's like I don't really know what they gain from showing it to you. Actually, there's almost nothing to gain. Is anyone on the fence about Grand Theft Auto 6? Either you're going to buy it or you're not. And I think they understand they're in an era now where people will just pull their shit apart, and it doesn't benefit the game. They did that thing on their website where they had like the vista of like Leonida or whatever, and it was there was like no reflection on the Ferris wheel or the and people were like,
yeah.
And if I were at Rockstar, I'd be like, fuck these people, don't show them anything else. This is insane.
Yeah. It's also funny that so many people are desperately trying to make content out of it, but there's nothing to talk about because they don't know anything. So they just keep reiterating the same bullshit that nobody knows either. So
I do love that they have people like going to like have you seen this like outside Rockstar North, like people counting the cigarette butts?
Oh yeah,
and like doing shit like that, and, like monitoring oxygen levels and shit. It's like fucking hysterical. Like you don't even know if any of this shit's real.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Love that. All right.
I can't wait.
Let's see. Robert Rivera wrote in and said, as a fellow Long Islander, what was one of your favorite pizza places growing up? For me, Umberto's and Little Vincent's come to mind. Gia's in Bellport was pretty great too. Our favorite was Ragtime in Brookhaven, which they went out of business. Well, they didn't. The Sons didn't want the business, so they just shut it down. This was a few years ago now. That was like my favorite. A second was Tony's, which I think was in Medford, was pretty good. And there was that place on Station Road that was good too. The fuck was it called? Village Pizza or something like that. So yeah, those would be the three. But Ragtime was really our shit. I love Ragtime Pizza, man, and that I can't get it anymore is a complete travesty. Truly. All right, let's see. Oh my God, what's next? Okay. Tuffy J says, you see Sony set to delete 551 digital movies and shows owned by PSN users. I've had music libraries on Zune and Google wiped out. Now movies and TV shows are getting wiped. Can you blame us physical stands? No, I can't. But again, you were never buying them. Like, I know it's in the weeds, especially at that time. I think people understand a little bit more about what can happen now with licensing and all the rest. But like, it's clearly within the EULA to do that, and that sucks. And I hate that. And I hate that they made... What I'm confused about is that, like, all right, you made arrangements to sell this movie. You no longer have the right to sell it. But certainly the licenses can be perpetual, right? And I guess they just don't want to pay, or they didn't pay for the perpetual licenses. It is my hope now that this really can't, or would... Maybe it could, but it wouldn't happen anymore. Because what I do try to be somewhat sympathetic about is during that early nascent digital ecosystem era where like you were buying a la carte shit and all the rest. It reminds me of a little bit of the Wii, the original Wii. It's like no one really knew what they were doing. For people that didn't use the Wii famously, you could buy all sorts of virtual console games. I probably had $1,000 in virtual console games on that fucking thing by the end. It was not attached to anything but your console. Your console like went down and it was over. You had to buy all those games again. It was insane. But like they didn't really know what they were doing. I would like to think that they just didn't write these licenses and they didn't have these deals in perpetuity. And now if a game is delisted on PSN or whatever, then you can still download the game. You just can't buy it anymore. That actually happened with the original ports of Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, where if you don't own them, now you can't buy them anymore. You have to buy the trilogy ones. Yeah. So hopefully this problem is taken care of. I do think there's a little bit of a silver lining, which is that like how many people were buying movies and TV shows on PSN? Come on. And also, I guess another thing is that the way that they treat these deals is a little differently than they've treated PS3 and Vita in terms of their storefronts and all the rest, where they wanted to take them down and then they kind of just left them alone and haven't said anything about them. And hopefully they've kind of learned their lesson on the gaming front. You would think for the bad PR, Sony would just pay the licensing fees, but maybe they just have calculated it. They might have data where it's like, we're removing the license and we'll no longer have available movie X. 400 people bought it. And it just looks bad because one of those 400 people got the email and then they propagated it, right? You know what I mean? I'm not excusing it, but they probably see the numbers and they're like, it's fine. And that's just too bad. When it happens to games, I think it'll be a bigger deal. And I think hopefully it's just not possible to happen with games because of the deals that they made.
Well, do these people get anything in return? Like, do they get like
no? I don't think they do. No, but you haven't been able to buy. So these are old purchases because you haven't even been able to buy this stuff for many years at this point.
Sure.
But like the idea was that you would hopefully have them in perpetuity. Again, I just think that they made bad licensing deals. It's Sony's fault and it's their problem, and you can hold them to account if you want. I just think that they probably. And they should be held to account. But I think, again, they probably see the numbers. And, like, I just don't know how well lubricated the a la carte video and TV store was on PlayStation Network. I just kind of don't think it was... They were comfortable enough not doing it anymore. I mean, I think that tells you everything. They weren't even bothering to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I had to scroll again. Mr. K says, you weren't being political, just stating the obvious about people having fashionable opinions. Everyone obsessed with Palestine. Apparently mass deaths in Syria, Yemen, Sudan, or chopped liver fashionable. Yeah, I mean, that's true. It's cool to be concerned about other things. Like, I don't mind that. I just think that it is part of the zeitgeist. And I find, listen, man, like, a lot of the groups that seem most in line with that movement, it's fine. Like, we all know what they would do to you, though. If you went and tried to live there. Like the irony is certainly not lost on me. You're much safer here than you are there. And as you should be safer. But yeah, fashionable opinions are lame and I'm not into it. And like I think also the like to each their own, like the term genocide I think is kind of losing its definition, like the parameters of what it means. I think we need to, it's like what I always say about genres in video games. Like we need new words. to different words to talk about things. All right. Mr. Brandon Martin says, your weekly streams have been lining up perfectly with me taking care of my grandmother's lawn. Thanks for the entertainment while I plunder the floor. That's wonderful. Sounds like a euphemism, frankly, but...
Oh, no.
But hey, to each their...
Such an innocent, nice little message.
Anyway, Brandon, you get back to taking care of your grandmother's lawn. Whatever that means. Thank you for writing it. Hope you're doing well. Stay cool out there. It's depending on where you are, it's probably fucking blazing hot out there. I've really come around to the southern tradition of mowing the lawn like right when the sun is setting. You hear people out there mowing their lawn, like I look outside, I'm like, it's dark out. You know, I'm like, it's 9:45 at night. You're mowing the lawn, but you got to do it.
Is that allowed? That's not allowed over here. We can't do that. We can't.
Oh, like make noise that late or whatever.
Well, I think we can't mow the lawn on Sundays and after, like, not when it's dark, but like after 10 p.m. you have to be quiet.
Yeah, I mean that's generally the mores around here too. We have rules here. It's just like no one's gonna bust your balls in the summer if you have your lawnmower on at like 9:30. I don't think anyone really cares. But yeah, like it's just comical how late people try to push things. I guess I'm saying because like you just don't want to be outside. And
sure, yeah.
I see people like wheeling out their lawnmower, and I'm like, the sun is literally setting. It's like the day-night cycle is about to turn over. You know, these guys are pushing it to the extreme. All right. Oh, so these are the ones I read earlier. I'm sorry. So Any Rev said this. We talked about this the round of 16, and then we talked about this one as well. So we're back here to where we should be. Zeron said, "I'm surviving the UK heat in the AC-less apartment." That brought us down there, and then we had Xnaut 2000. Thank you for your donation. So now we are all caught up here, and now we're moving forward. Now there's more to go through, but P. Riceadon wrote it. I love saying his name like that. Said, I would like to be fairly judged on my trophies. Price.
Oh.
Well, what is your name? Is it P. Riceadon 1? I'll look it up. It is. No, that's not your name. Because that name doesn't exist.
Damn.
Unless, is your name just Price?
That would be incredible if he got that.
Let's see. It could be. 81 platinums. I mean, it could be you. I mean, this person plays a lot of games. Death Stranding 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Pragmata. JD says trophy lists or ratings are not fun for other viewers. I generally agree. But I also want to be mindful that people are putting themselves out there. Oh, who just texted me? Real quick. This is from Micah. Real quick. Do you want steak and corn on the cob tonight or Mexican chicken with black beans and rice?
Oh. Do both?
I'll do Mexican chicken. Okay, sorry.
Well, what a service. What a service. You get your wife to text you what you want. Wow. That's amazing.
Well, usually she just makes the menu. I think she's at the store.
Menu?
I think she's at the. Well, she like writes down like so she knows what we have a little whiteboard on the side of our fridge, and she writes down. I don't even look at it. She does it for herself of like what she's gonna make every day, so she knows what to buy. And I think this was her asking me like what she's at the supermarket right now. What I would prefer. You know, I was saying this. I've said this many times. Is like I am a massive beneficiary of Micah's authentic hobby of liking to cook. Now, I've noted I am and Michael will be the first person to tell you this, is like, I know how to cook. I'm actually pretty good at it. She's made me incredibly lazy and is much better than I am. Oh. So we got the grill in the backyard. We got the smoker in the backyard. We got a rotisserie now. We have all sorts of accoutrements inside, like a deli slicer. We have a literal deli slicer now. Where she'll smoke like a turkey. We'll have a little bit of it for dinner, and then we'll slice the rest of it, and make sandwiches out of it. Wow. Yeah, she's killing it.
That's heaven. Yeah.
She's
That's
killing it.
amazing.
I feel
That's
like we've had a
cool.
lot of steak, so I'm going back to chicken. She likes cooking steak. I like steak, but she's a man in the relationship. She likes that red meat. You know, I got to taper it down a little bit for myself. God bless her. How many tortillas with that meal? The chicken, I'll probably have two flour tortillas. I love the Wegmans flour tortillas. They're so good. They remind me a lot of the Trader Joe's tortillas that are really good, but the Trader Joe's tortillas, they refuse to use any preservatives, so the tortillas go bad in like 6 hours. You know, like you got like no, like you go to the next day to use them and they're like fucking all moldy. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
God forbid we put a preservative. No modernity. We have to eat the same tortillas the Aztecs were eating. We can't put anything in it. We're Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Like losing my mind. Commander Shepard wrote and said, "Hello, Colin. Do you still have a boner for Christopher Nolan? Will you be watching The Odyssey in theaters?" Not really. I mean, I do have a boner for the movies that. I mean, Intergalactic's like my favorite, or I'm sorry, Interstellar is my favorite movie. Now I'm getting them confused in the other direction. Interstellar is like one of my very favorites, up there with like Willy Wonka and The Empire Strikes Back and a bunch of others. And I also love the Batman trilogy, and some of his other stuff's great too. I like Dunkirk. That was the last one I saw, so I haven't seen anything since then, and I'm not going to see The Odyssey in theaters. I don't care about that.
Oh, dude, but that's got to be the one you have to see in theaters, no? Don't you think so?
No, I don't really get off on the theater experience. Like, I know that there are movies that are made for it, and I've enjoyed those kinds of movies. Like, I always talk about it. I really enjoyed that first Mad Max revival, and I saw that in the theater, and that was awesome. But, like, I'm cool seeing it later. And it's, like, honestly, like, there are two other Nolan movies that I would like to see even before The Odyssey. So it's like, I never saw the Tenet one, and I never saw the one about Tenet about World War III, I guess, and I never saw Oppenheimer. So
well, Oppenheimer was of course amazing. Tenet was good too, but this one is, unless I'm wrong, but I think I'm correct. This is one of the first movies that's entirely filmed in IMAX, like the Jeff Keighley's dad camera.
I thought what do you mean? Filmed like where it can't be shown in anything but IMAX? Is that what you're saying?
No. But I think I could be completely wrong. But I think I read this, that the whole movie, like normally certain scenes in movies are shot on IMAX, but this whole movie is shot on IMAX. So they can show it in any theater they want. It just looks much grander and like an IMAX.
Oh, I just always thought that was a thing for like many years. I don't know anything about film, so
maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong though.
First, I think, this guy Fozzie says first movie to ever be filmed on IMAX film cameras in total.
Oh, okay,
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate he's like what I understand about him is like he's a limit pusher, you know, and I like that. Like he reminds me a lot of James Cameron, where it's like I want to do cool shit or nothing at all, and I think that's neat. Yeah, that's just I'm not a film guy really.
Oh, sorry.
No, please.
History. This is the one that should, well, maybe it's not World War II history, of course, but it's such a cool story, like the Odyssey. We've never seen that on film, or never done right, except Jason and the Argonauts, I guess. But it's such an original, cool story. Doesn't that entice you to go? No,
not really. I mean, no, not really. Like I just
fair enough.
I don't know. Like I don't know where my disinterest in film comes from, because it wasn't always that way. I loved it back in the day.
Okay. Yeah,
and
sure. Yeah.
I've said to people many. I mean, it was we're the same age. Like I saw everything in the movies, and I would rent movies all the time. Like I would go to the movie theater like every weekend, and you saw all of the most random shit in the theater. That's why from like the late '80s until the mid aughts, probably I saw everything. Like there's probably almost nothing I didn't see in that of any consequence in that entire run. Because between Blockbuster and the local video store and the movie theater and all that kind of stuff. But then I think games became more immersive and took a lot more time, combined with the fact that I entered college and just became busier. And then I entered the games industry, so games became a huge part of my life. And then the golden era of TV began. Now, I think we're out of the golden era of TV, but that golden era began in the early to mid aughts. And then I just was way more interested in that. That combined, I think, with Netflix CD rental or DVD rental, really, and then of course later streaming, but really started with DVD rental. I used to just get shows constantly, and I always felt like I was getting a richer experience that way. And then I started going more in that direction, and then I just kind of stopped watching TV too. So So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
way
sure.
behind
Yeah.
on movies. Like I've seen, in the last 20 years, I've seen 100 movies or something, probably, something like that. It's like,
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
that's not really very much. There are many touchstones that I have not seen. Many, 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 many. No doubt. There's only so much time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, not everyone can be interested in everything. That's understandable. Like you're big into games.
Yeah, I
That's
play
the
a lot of
really
games.
yeah.
And again, I don't know that I mean, I play a lot of, I game a lot. I don't play a lot of games. A lot of people jump around from game to game. I complete games.
Yeah.
And that's how I spend my time. Mr. Mr. Jism says, in light of the USA's upcoming birthday, what is the great American novel? A begrudging early happy 4th of July to the colonials from us in England. I mean, I wonder how people would even define that. Like, to me, like, are you looking for like an objective answer? Or are you looking for something like subjective? Because I gravitate towards two interesting things. Like, for some reason, I keep thinking of Atlas Shrugged, which a lot of people would be aghast at. But that to me is, it's not the great American novel because it's way too fucking big to be the great American novel, but it is of the caliber of that, in my opinion. But a lot of people would think about like Steinbeck or something, or like things like that. But to me, I'm like, what about Bradbury or, something like, I don't know, man. Sirens of Titan. I don't know, something weird like that. But I think people would say like, Gatsby or something would be like the great American novel, or Grapes of Wrath. Something more boring like that. To Kill a Mockingbird. Maybe you go even older than that, but those are not. I was going to say something like Transcendental, but that's not really a novel. Something by Twain, perhaps.
Yeah, Micah said Huckleberry Finn. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Huckleberry Finn a lot. All right. Boots wrote in and said, should Microsoft pay human monies to WWE's Danhausen in order for him to lift the curse on Xbox? He lifted the curse on the New York Knicks, and now they are champions. I don't really know enough about this, and I don't know that Xbox is cursed either. I think it's just a badly run business. It's two different things. I'm so happy for the Knicks, by the way. I'm not a basketball or an NBA fan. I like the game, but know so many Knicks fans growing up and back home, and they were really elated by it. Honestly, if I was going to root for a basketball team, it would be the Nets. All right. P. Riceadon wrote in and said, Colin, the way you feel about Pragmata's combat on Lunatic is the same way you will feel about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth on Hard. Very different. Yeah, we'll see. The problem with those games is that Pragmata's 10 hours long, and those games are like 100 hours long. So, especially the second one. So that's a different thing. I will get back to those games and replay them in anticipation of the game next year, I guess. Final Fantasy VII, whatever the fuck it's called, Reunion. Very excited. Pedro Garcia says, what's that crazy Kane and Lynch story you mentioned about? I was actually excited for this game in 2007. It was my third PS3 game. I didn't mind the second one. You probably are talking about the Jeff Gerstmann thing with the Kane and Lynch review. Yeah. That's the one piece of gaming lore, like interference that you would like, that is like conspiratorial, discussed in the corners of the internet, like where that actually did happen. And that was the craziest thing about it, is that most of the stories people think or impugn these websites with are not true, but that actually did happen. And basically, like, Jeff Gerstmann, Giant Bomb was founded because Jeff Gerstmann was basically removed from GameSpot for a poor review he gave to Kane and Lynch, in which Kane and Lynch was sponsoring GameSpot at that time, and so there was like a bunch of cross wires, and he was removed. It was the best thing that ever happened to him. So I don't think he would ever want to change that around, but that really did happen. And what was funny about that is, what's funny about it is that I think like GameSpot kind of got away with it. Like, GameSpot's irrelevant now, and they've been irrelevant for a long time, but like it wasn't because of that. It was just because they didn't have the talent to keep up with the IGNs of the world. But they did in a different world, man. Like they would have never even tried that shit. It was a very cloistered magazine style move. And not good. All right. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you still know? Do you know anyone at GameSpot still, or no one? Because
no.
Lucy James just left, I think. So
yeah, and I barely knew her. I think I met her once. She started there like when I was like Kind of Funny. I don't think I even really knew her. Um, no, like Danny was there. I mean, I don't like Danny,
Oh
but we
yeah,
we were
of
friends.
course.
I knew him there, and then Danny treated me like shit.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I knew what was the chick that worked there that went to Twitch.
Oh,
What? Why can't I think of her
uh,
name? Mary Kish.
yeah, yes, that, yeah.
I really liked her. She was really sweet. And she's been gone forever. Ty Root worked there for a long time, who used to work at IGN, and I think he
Yeah.
is long gone as well. So like, yeah, there's really no one there that I really knew. It's funny, man. Like I've talked a little bit about this since. It's like when Ty went to GameSpot from IGN, he was like the director of their video team. And I was really unhappy that IGN wasn't paying me enough. This was in like 2012, so I actually went and interviewed there. And
Oh.
I don't think Tyler reminded me saying where he was like, "You don't want to come here." Kind of.
Damn.
You just
That's
not because of the company, but it's like you're in a much better position there than you will be here. That's how I remember it. But what I remember the most about this, and I remember Ty, I mean, this was 14, 15 years ago. I remember if he remembers this. We used to have a CEO named at IGN named Roy Bahat. So we were owned by Fox. Fox bought IGN in 2005, and then they sold us in 2012. And Roy came in late in like '09 or 2010. In fact, he was the guy I think I told the story before that like we used to get these bonuses and the bonuses would be allocated by everyone else. So it was like the socialistic thing of like, you have
oh wow.
$1,000. Who are you going to give it to? You can give it to $100 to each person. You can give it, and we had a meeting with him where we were like, we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And we're like, just give us the money equally. And he said something along the lines of like, if we, like basically it was like, if you ever do this, if you ever have a meeting with me like this again, you're all in a lot of fucking trouble. And then like so I remember that about him. But he was actually a really nice guy and really relatable person. And so when it was clear that, so he engineered the sale of Fox from Fox to go independent. And then IGN was independent for like a year. And then there was this other CEO that came in and he was a fucking weirdo. And he came and sold the site to ZDNet or whatever the fuck it's called. No, Zip Davis, whatever. And
Yeah.
and that was like late in my time there. And that was the CEO that told us that we were so insignificant to Fox that we were like the paint on the fire hydrant outside of their corporation, something like that. Like he had like an
Wow.
image on like this deck, and he thought that was like really inspiring for us to hear. So, but the thing about Roy, so I was at GameSpot. GameSpot was at CBS Interactive, which was like this really beautiful building, like near King Street in San Francisco, down the street from IGN. And I went there, and we were just in the lobby. So this was during the IGN independent era. So as part of the buyout, Roy Bahat left and like became independent or whatever. And then I'm sitting in the like having a clear meeting with GameSpot in like their cafe, and who walks through CBS Interactive's building but Roy Bahat staring directly at me and Ty, talking to each other. And I was like, this could have been very bad if he was like still there. You know, for me, this could have been very bad for me. So I always remembered that about him. But yeah, anyway, an interesting time.
Wow, that's so fun. So your life could have taken a very different turn if you ended up at GameSpot. That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would have been. I was mad because I wasn't paid well.
Yeah.
And it started to really grate on me how badly we were being paid. And I remember it well is that like I came and we would have our yearly reviews, and I would always get. I've said this before, is I saved all my reviews because I used to get perfect scores, and everyone used to have the nicest things to say about me the entire time I was there, which is I love like people that like. So I would be like, listen, like I'm getting fives and everything. I am clearly extremely valuable. Please, like I want a promotion and I want more money. And I remember them like kind of refusing me one year. And Greg, I was so upset that Greg's like, you should go home before you. And I remember that really well. And then after that, I kind of agitated more to get, they didn't offer me any real money until I left.
Yeah.
And that pissed me off, actually. So it was hard at first to make the decision, but when I was like, oh, that's interesting. You're willing to basically double my money because I threatened to leave, but you wouldn't pay me shit because I was captive, and that pissed me the fuck off. My life would have been totally changed with just more money, like and not having to didn't have two fucking pennies to rub together sometimes. So
Yeah, of
anyway,
course.
um, but yeah, that's the Kane and Lynch story is an interesting one. I don't know if Jeff's ever like talked about it. He must have at some point.
He has not that long ago. Even he had like this whole, because I saw it appear like a couple of weeks ago again. He had like this whole conversation about it on Twitter or YouTube or somewhere.
Because I think he was. I always assumed that he was paid out, and so he wasn't able to really. He was probably not at will, and he probably had a contract. So they're like, we're gonna fire you and pay you. Obviously, you can't speak under those terms. And then he founded Giant Bomb right after that, and then sold them to Whiskey Media. That's why I was telling people the other day is like he sold the company twice, I think, and so
Yeah,
he's good. He's in good shape. But I really didn't know Jeff very well. Like I met him on probably many occasions, but I never really like. I didn't vibe very much with the GameSpot guys, and I didn't really meet him until after he was gone. Some of the GameSpot guys, like long after him, were fucking weird. If I'm going to be honest with you, I won't even use any names.
Did you really have like a rivalry with them, or was it more like in spirit? Or
Yeah, no, it was
real?
real. There was a. I don't even know like how much of this has been said. Like there was this notion at GameSpot in the early to mid aughts. So like when I was an intern and when I was a freelancer and first getting in, where like the word was that they were not even really allowed to socialize with us.
Oh, damn.
And
wow.
We kind of hated them, right? Like I know like one of the big motivating factors for me was like crushing them. We would have meetings every month looking at our, like comparing our numbers. And there was a time when they started beating us and we took it really seriously.
Yeah.
Cause there were a lot of like, we would have all these meetings about everyone we were scared of, you know, at the top, and it would never came to fruition. I remember one of them was like Game Informer. It's like, all right. One of them was Wikipedia, and then later like the various wiki like fandom offshoots. Like no, I remember One Up was kind of a concern in the mid to late aughts, and they were pretty big for a while, but we ended up buying them. So GameSpot was really the only one that we were ever really truly fixated on, and we like by the time I had left, we had put them away. You know, and I doubt they ever came back from that. We were just a better run company, and we had better talent. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But like we had. Pear is a much more formidable version of himself than what they had. Pear's cutthroat and means what he does, you know. And I don't mean that in the bad way. I mean that in the best way possible.
No, of course you need to be. Yeah.
Pear is like Pear's one of the most impressive people I ever worked for. Yeah.
You still talk with him? Do you still?
Yeah, on occasion. Yeah, on occasion.
Nice.
Yeah, we exchange emails on occasion. Yeah.
Nice.
He was I don't want to say a father figure to us, but he kind of was. I mean, we were a bunch of late teen into our 20s and 30s dudes. A lot of us were from all over the country and left our families and our situations to do this. All we really had was each other. Pear was extremely rich, or is extremely rich. So you would see that because he sold IGN. You know, they made Fox bought IGN for $650 million. I don't think people realize that. You know, wow. It's a lot of money, and it was a lot of money in 2005. So those guys were loaded.
Yeah. That's incredible.
And more power to him. He was always treating me with respect and love and kindness. And he went to bat for me a lot, and I really appreciated that. But what I remember is his place in Marin. For people that don't know, Marin is like the hills overlooking San Francisco on the other side. It's like one of the richest places in the country, and he lives there. And yeah, he was always very normal for how rich I knew he was. Which was fun for me. Like he still came into work. He still works there to this day. Like if I were him, I'd been like, I would have been gone 20 years ago, dude. I'm not kidding. He probably made. I don't want to assume. Like I would assume somewhere in the $50 to $100 million at least when they sold the site. You know, like at that point, I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. Bye. And he would come and work and be in the trenches and in his office and doing shit every day. He was
nice.
He's a true workhorse and knows exactly what he's doing. And I think that was a major reason why we won.
Nice, cool. Well, you've probably already asked him, but would he ever be on like your content? Would he be on like?
I don't know if I think I asked him once, and I don't think we could get it together. But that was a long time ago. Yeah, I think he would do it. I think it would be interesting for me to talk to him because, as I understand, he has kind of moved on to another internal project at IGN, which is like all based on and predicated on strategy guides. I think IGN sees that they need to stay alive in different ways. and it's going to be difficult. But I think that one of the things they've always tried to do, like they bought Map Genie, I think a while ago, and so they're like totally trying to make this module. And I think he's really focused on that. And that happens to be a space that not only is very near and dear to my heart, but exactly how I met Pear to begin with.
Cool.
So
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool conversation, but I have not asked him in a while. So yeah, I should do that. I have a list of people. There's some cool guests coming up in the next few weeks for sure. So it would be fun to get him on the show as well.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Spanish Deco wrote in and said 5 minutes on the best Remedy game, Max Payne 1. Pretty pleased with the cherry on top. P.S. Incoming heat wave, making you wish for the pool chiller. Yeah, man. I made a huge Long Island error where I assumed the water would be the same here as it was 500 miles to the north, like an idiot. So I always said my pool on Long Island never got warm. Didn't matter. Like, it never got warm. And in fact, my dad and I were laughing about it when I was talking about Father's Day, because I'm like, it was like hard to go in sometimes, even in like July or August. It's so fucking cold. And here the water just bakes under the sun, and it gets hot. And I got a heater installed here, and you don't even need it. And you could get a cooler, and I didn't. So, first world problems. Max Payne 1, I really am not. I played it back in the day, but it's not a game that really stuck with me, and I don't really know. I am excited about the remakes of them, and that's when I'll really experience them for the first time. Mike is a Max Payne fan, in fact.
Nice.
But yeah,
Nice.
do you have any memories of it? It's kind of a PC-centric game.
Yeah,
So.
dude. I love Max Payne 1 and 2. 3 too. 3 was very different, but 1 and 2 those were like my childhood games. Yeah, like you said, PC games. That's why probably those. I remember Max Payne 1 is probably the first ever action game I bought and played. Because before that I would only play like RPGs or adventure games. And I think Max Payne 1 was like the first action game I ever played. Those games are fantastic. I love those games. Are they just didn't stick with you, or you didn't like them?
Yeah, at the time that the early Max Payne games came out, it was just weren't even really the kind of games I was playing. Like there were certain games. I remember when there was a Deus Ex game that came to Xbox in like 2003. I don't remember which one it was, but I played it and I was like, yeah, this is cool. Invincible War, yeah, that's what it was. But I never played anything like that, like the immersive sim, and so I kind of bailed off of it. And in hindsight, it's like, yeah, you were just too early to the game. Like you weren't into that stuff yet. And that's exactly the same way with Max Payne. Because I said I played FPS a little bit, like on PC with my friends, like Doom. I wasn't like into it. It wasn't until I played Medal of Honor 1 that I was like, oh, I like this. And now it's like one of my favorite genres. So I don't think I just had encountered anything at that point that drew me in, like, yeah, go ahead.
Isn't that funny, that Medal of Honor, which you mentioned, that was Call of Duty. That was the original Call of Duty, but then they kind of fucked each other over. Call of Duty was a spin-off of Medal of Honor, right? Like they fired those guys.
Yeah, like there was like Spielberg was involved and stuff like that with all that.
Yeah.
Like, there a lot of money involved in it. It was during that late 90s World War II Renaissance.
Yes.
That was buttressed around Saving Private Ryan. So yeah, Medal of Honor is a very memorable. Like the first one's very memorable to me. Where I was like, this game's fucking dope. And I really, really loved it. But yeah, I just in that era, I was still very, very much generally centered around Japanese role-playing games and action games.
Sure, yeah.
And the occasional like sim game or something like that. And sports. I played a lot of sports games. That's a big part of me that's dead now. That like it wasn't dead. Is like I was a yearly NHL player. I was a yearly Madden player. I would buy baseball games every so often. I had FIFA a couple times. Like I would just buy whatever because I like especially when they started integrating battery saves, and then later they were on disc. But like saves with saving your stats and your standings and all the rest of that. I'm really into that shit. So that's not something I do anymore at all. But that was a big part of my play when I was a kid.
Cool.
All right, let's see. Hold on a sec. Oh, I don't think that one came through.
Oh yeah, it did.
Oh, it did.
Or at least I could hear it. Yeah.
I also had a little afterwards, like a little sexual sound almost. Nick Domi wrote in and said Lockmort. I like that. We should open the Lockmort. Did you feel the PAL cover art was better than the NTS cover art? I preferred the PAL. I think is he talking? And he says, Colin, I'm upset about the 98 Jets up 10-0. I mean, I don't want to talk about the 98 Jets. I can't right now. I can't. I can't go there right now. Is he talking about generally the PAL versus NTSCR? Because he's not being clear about what game he's talking about otherwise.
Yeah, I think generally your cover art was way better than ours. Or at least more dynamic.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about specific games. Like our Mega Man box art, for instance, is notoriously bad. You guys had actually decent
Oh,
Mega Man
okay.
art.
Cool.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know. He's got to be more specific about what game he's talking about. I think.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
let's see. Oh, someone just. There we go. Robbie Suave wrote in and said, "The Lockmort on Sacred Streaming is awesome. Invite him back if you're both up for it, please." Of course, he's always welcome with us. I'm glad to have him. I know this is going long. I hope you're okay.
Oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine. I don't smoke. If I was still smoking, I would be in big trouble right now.
Yeah, how are you feeling? How are you doing with that? You feeling good?
I miss it so much, but yeah, no, I'm doing good. It's gone. It's been like a year now, so it's been gone. But every time I think about it, like right now, I'm like, oh my, that would be so wonderful. But I can't do it. I can't do it. But it's going well.
P. Ricedon wrote in and said, "For the record, Price is in fact my PSN name." All right, so we were looking at the right one. I actually still have it up. It's right here. So that's you. He says, "Love the trophy hunt. Also, Locke, has Brad apologized? I'm still not over it." But before we get to that, I just want to say, if Price is it is your PSN name, lock that bad boy down, dude. Like, make sure that you're. And I say that because that's the exact kind of PSN account that's stolen. Are these short, like hard to get names that you would have had to gotten really early in the PSN's life cycle. So no sense of urgency, fake sense of urgency. Make sure your email address is secure and all that kind of stuff, please. What is he talking about here? Has Brad apologized? Oh, about that was a fucking bait and switch. He's so full of shit with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where the truth lies. We have to ask him, of course. But after thinking about it some more, I was like, you didn't trick me. You just made a mistake, sir. You made a mistake.
Yeah, why can't you just admit, like, why can't you? I don't like that.
Yeah.
Better watch it, Brad. Coming for
but you. I now I get my revenge, so that's better. I can just torture him with that for a little until I figure what we could do. But we'll see.
Nerf Ninja says, Locke is great at asking you follow-up questions. Thank you for your donation. Yeah, he is great. I wish we had more room for you to be on shows more regularly. Like, the one bummer about Sacred Plus going once a week, it's easier for me, obviously, it's nice, but is like we have less room to just do things.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
And I'm noticing that either. That's why I published 2 episodes of Sacred Plus 2 weeks in a row, because I'm like, we just got to get this shit out of the way. Like, we can't have 2 Saros episodes 2 weeks in a row. We can't have all these different things going on. So yeah, we got to find more ways, because you're really good at it, and you're doing your own streaming as well, right? On your channel.
Well, I could, dude. That's why I couldn't for the longest time. So for the past 2 weeks, I started streaming in January, and I was having such a great time with it. But I was getting pretty loud every once in a while because I got emotive when something happened. But then my neighbors started complaining. They started texting me during my streams, like, please be quiet. Like, we're working people. You can't be this loud. It's like, okay, I'll keep it down a little. But now, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they texted me like, listen, on July 1st, we'll be gone. Don't stream until then. And then when we're gone, you can be as loud as you can. It's like, okay, that's okay. I'll honor the deal. So cool. I haven't streamed in 3 weeks, but this week, July 1st, I'll stream and then I'll scream and I'll yell.
Wait, so are they gone forever, or are they just going for a vacation? Or
No, I think they're having, one of them is having surgery and they have to stay at the hospital or something like that. So it's a dumb thing. But this week I can finally stream again.
But what or just tamp down the loudness a little bit.
Well, dude, you see where my office, well, you don't know the layout of my apartment, I guess, but this office, like my desk used to be up there, which is right next to the wall where my neighbors are, right? But I moved it downstairs so I wouldn't be bothering them anymore. I've had more neighbors here. I've had like other people live here, never had a problem. But the people who are living here now are like students, I think from India, who are very nice. They're very nice girls. They're very, very cool, but they have like a sleep impairment, I guess. So they hear everything. So I have to always be very quiet. After 10 p.m., I always have to be very quiet for them.
Right.
Which is annoying because
India is known as a very tranquil and quiet, peaceful place. So I know that's what they're probably used to.
No comment. But I of course I want to stream at US hours because most of the NSM audience is USA, and most of the people I know are from the US. So I want to stream late at night here, but I couldn't. But now I can again. Thank you.
No, it's good to treat your neighbors with respect. I don't like being put in a position by my neighbors, and I don't want to put my neighbors in any sort of position. To me, it's why like I just don't play my drums after 5 p.m. I play them literally in the afternoon. I don't even
Yeah.
put anyone in a position where it's getting too late. When I was a kid, my dad was like, play drums till 9. I don't give a shit. And and it's like, and I'm like, yeah, all right, that's I don't know. I don't know. To me, I'm like just curious about people being more, or I guess what I should say is I was more curious about when I lived in those situations about being as tranquil and peaceful as I can, so you have goodwill.
Yes, exactly.
So like,
That's
yeah, and you take from that font of goodwill, and I don't like when I never really had anyone push it, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I I always think about when I lived in San Francisco for many years next to that Chinese family, and I've talked about how they would like play like basketball in the backyard, like
Yeah.
in the morning. And I'll never forget that I came out and I was like, I was really upset. It was like 8 in the morning, and I was like, it's 8 in the morning, and the guy like looked at me and he's like, good morning. Like he didn't. It wasn't him being a dickhead. He thought I was like they didn't really speak English.
That's awesome.
It sounded like fucking Jordan versus Bird in their backyard.
Oh man,
Jesus
well,
Christ.
you always see like these neighbor disputes on YouTube and stuff. So that's always the stuff I want to avoid. Like I want to have
Yeah.
a very good relationship with my neighbors, and they're good. They're good girls. They're nice girls. So
Yeah, of course. I have good relationship with my neighbors, like for sure.
yeah,
I try to be nice and no one really asks for any, like no one's really doing anything wrong. Like we
Sure,
have a lot
yeah.
of kids in our neighborhood, so it's like really loud, but I don't really mind that, to be honest. Like they're not loud at like 10 at night. They're like just playing out. And right now they're not going to be out. They're not outside in the summer. So it's like,
sure.
so there's that. And everyone's generally respectful and it's well kept, so I have nothing to complain about from that perspective.
Do they use your pool or
Oh,
not?
no, definitely not. There
Okay,
is
okay,
I live in a neighborhood where it's like we have a golf course and like a pool, like a few pools and like a few different things and like but like
okay.
there are then people that have their own pools. Not many. There's like maybe a dozen people or something. So public pools kind of gross me out. If I'm being honest with you. So, but like they have all these options to go and do things on their own if they want, which is good. And there's like lots of trails and it's a pretty nice place. So
Awesome.
it's like a middle class, upper middle class kind of enclave. It's nothing too fancy. And that's about perfect for me. I don't want much more than that. I'm good. I'm good here.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
Unless I get bad neighbors sometime, then maybe we'll leave.
But they're good, right? They're good neighbors now.
Oh yeah. I have so the people on one side of me are the same people that live there. Like when I bought the spec house on the block, so my house was literally here first. And then everything was built around me. So I watched all these people like move into their houses. The people like next to me on one side are the same original family and they're fine. Then
that's cool.
And then the next to me, this is the third family that's lived there, which is crazy because it's only 6 or 7 years, but one guy just flipped it, so it's really just 2 families, and they're really nice. I have a friendly rapport with them. They're big hockey fans and stuff. We talk about that kind of shit. And then I bring up the lesbian couple that lives across the street from me sometimes. They're like probably the people we're closest to. They're really nice. Next to them is like this very religious family that actually invited us to their kids' graduation party the other week, and they're really friendly, so they're nice. We're friendly with them.
Cool.
So that everyone's cool. There's some newcomers and stuff, and we have a very friendly rapport with everyone, but we're not like some of these people are very tight with each other because like a lot of them have little kids, so they're like constantly together. And I appreciate it. Like they try to include us a lot. Like a lot of these people early on, like come to the barbecue, come to the, and we're like we appreciate like, and we did a few things, but it's like it's for the kids. It's weird. We don't have kids. It's weird. It's weird. And so they stopped after a while. I think we all acknowledge that like it is what it is. We appreciate you trying. But I don't want to like go to the playground or whatever, or like, dude, it's so crazy what people have, like the level of opulence of the children growing up today, like just with the options they have, like the things that people have in their backyards, like these blow up castles and like these even bounce castles and these these little modular water parks and all this shit. I'm like, damn, dude, this shit is fucking well beyond like anything we had access to, and anything you think my parents were ever going to do that? You out of your mind?
Oh yeah, same dude.
You think my dad was going to put that thing on his lawn? I don't think so.
I remember growing up, one of my friends had a trampoline, and that was the biggest thing ever. A trampoline.
Oh, I love trampoline. Yeah, I never had one myself. My neighbor had one, and we spent many years on it, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And like it's suicide. Like the shit we used to do on it was kind of crazy. Like it's crazy that no one ever died. I see them
Oh
now.
yeah.
I see them with like nets around them now. That was
Yeah.
not a thing when I was a kid. And we used to
Oh,
do the
no.
thing, you know, like where you would like go into a ball in the middle and then like bounce you, and then you would jump right before the person landed, and they would just fucking fly. Like we had no regard for ourselves, and our parents didn't give a shit
Yeah. Yeah.
either. No one cared. No one cared at all. God, that was fun. Being a kid is so
Yeah.
fun, man. Like you just don't realize how good you have it.
Oh yeah.
It's fucking
Well,
wild how good you have it.
well, not everyone, of course, but like
No,
Western
everyone.
people do.
No, I'm talking about your American middle class or working class kid. Like you got it
Sure.
pretty good, man. You know, like
Yeah.
you could have a bad home life. I had a pretty fucking bad home life at times, but I still had it for like I got my situation was not good at all, but I had it pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
I had no responsibilities. I had those days are done. Like they're done after a while, and you never ever can go back ever.
That's the sad part about life. I read this, or somebody told me this, or I read this somewhere, that the first 18 years of your life, you're desperately trying to get to that 18 points. You're desperately, from 0 to 18, you're desperately trying to get to 18. And then the whole rest of your life, from 18 until 100, you're trying to get back to the 0, and it never happens.
I
'Cause you want to relive it.
Yeah, I am. There's that famous scene in Mad Men where like they're doing the Kodak commercial for the carousel. You know what I'm talking about?
Love that. Yeah.
And
love
he's
that.
talking about about the meaning of nostalgia, of pain, and all of that. And it's like, yeah, man, there's something embedded in us to yearn for it. I wonder if it's an evolutionary thing to instill in you the importance of it, so you give it to your kid. You know what I mean? Like some sort of backdoor way of like understanding that someone has to understand how good it is. You have to make sure the kid is active and has perspective and all that kind of stuff. However you might define that. Anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Commander Shepard says, Colin, I was bummed you weren't in the 007 First Light spoiler cast, so I was wondering if you can give us a quick review. Sure. I thought it was awesome. I mean, it's one of the great games of the year. Incredibly well made. Very Hitman-like. I was really astonished by the level of life I felt like the game had. I felt like the game, there are certain scenes in the game, like party scenes, club scenes, like just places with lots of people and lots of things going around, very Hitman-esque, but like it goes to show you that in certain games that stuff really matters, that like you walk past people and they are having unique conversations, and you bump into a person and it can have a very unique interaction with them and all the rest, and that game is filled with that kind of shit. And I was really, really impressed with it. And I was disappointed that, I hope it's just miscommunication and bad PR, but like Amazon kind of fucking around with this.
Yes. Wow.
It's like, you guys are so stupid. You're talking like Amazon can't do shit with video games. They haven't gotten anything going. And they've had billions of dollars in years to get this shit going, and they are inept. And you think that they would be happy with their MGM acquisition, that this thing fell in their lap. And instead they're being like, well, we're going to publish and we'll make the decision. It's like, all right, guys, smart, very smart. I feel bad for IO though, because obviously they have a great game on their hands and they're going to make a sequel. I mean, obviously they're going to let them make a sequel. It's a bummer though. IO published this, so they made a lot of money. The next one's not going to be so hot for them. Probably it will do well, but they're going to have to split the money. And Amazon's going to be the licensor and the publisher, so it's going to be a heavy thing for them, which is too bad. But yeah, really, really, really highly recommended. Highly recommended. Great performances, great writing, compelling story, timely in terms of what it's about.
Yeah.
Unintentionally so, I think, because the game's been in development for so long. I mean, that's what's so funny about it hitting when it hit. Yeah.
It was like a good Bond movie too. Like that could have been a great story for a new movie. That's how good it was.
So yeah, that's my thought. Go check that out. I heard Jason did a really great job on the spoiler cast though. Yeah. Pistol 101 says, have you read Undaunted Courage by Stephen Ambrose? It describes the Lewis and Clark expedition based on Lewis's journal. You'd absolutely love it. Yes, I have. I love Stephen Ambrose, though he is very controversial because he's gotten in trouble for like plagiarism and stuff like that as well. But his most famous work, of course, is Band of Brothers, which is must read, must see stuff. Must read, must see stuff. He also wrote a great book about the expansion of the Western Railroad. It was called like Nothing Like It in the World or something like that. That's another good. Ambrose is like a pop historian, very readable. And I like dry history more than anyone in the world. Probably I love dry history, but I like a good pop history as well. So he's great. Okay. Carlos Enrique Sierra says, per Jason Schreier, quote, Xbox is ending contracts and cutting vendors ahead of expected massive layoffs, leading their main PR agency Assembly to begin layoffs today, end quote. Looking forward to Xbox's return. Well, I think you're going to be looking forward to it for a while. Yeah, I mean, I don't, the word out of, there was a lot of scuttlebutt. I don't know if you saw this coming out of an Italian trade show. Interesting source of things where they were saying that the word is that like they're just freezing Game Pass contracts at this point. And that sounds like they're, if that's true, I mean, that's going to either create a really bad situation for them in the mid to long term in terms of not having games ready for the thing at some point. They can obviously fill it later and they can even do it at an accelerated pace, or that tells you that they're going to shut this thing down. But I just can't believe that they would do it. Like, you can't walk away from that at level of recurring money. It's just the cost of Game Pass. Like, I think they just have to get day one games out of it. Excuse me, day one games out of it, and go from there. But yeah, really interesting. I mean, they're in a lot of trouble, dude. I mean, I think there's a lot of like, I don't know what anyone's thinking about this thing. It's bad. So I want to be clear. Sony's got problems. They're just different problems, and they'll come later. Not now.
When do you think we'll see the end of it? Like at some point, it's gonna have to end, right?
I don't know, man. Like I think they're in a rock and a hard place. They can't let go of their customers.
Yeah,
they have low tens of millions of captive people. To release them to the wild, and basically Sony would absorb a bunch of them, and of course Steam would absorb a bunch of them too. It's just, I understand their unwillingness to do that. I think what they hope is, like, there's no saving the Xbox Series consoles. They're done. The Helix can really only work, and it sounds like they're really going to rethink this, is like, it's probably going to be an OEM, and I don't know that it's going to be very compelling if you don't let people in on it outside of the Xbox ecosystem, in which case it doesn't let them, it doesn't make any financial sense. So what they really might be coming to the conclusion, ultimately, this is why I think a lot of analysts, I know I talked to a lot of people behind the scenes, they're like, it's all going in the same direction. Like, even with the obfuscation of Gears and Clockwork Revolution, like, this is going in a specific direction, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And by the way, you can't save your console by putting your games on PC as well. The reason I thought Sony should be more aggressive with PC releases was because they had already won the console space and they were winning it. They were doing fine, so it really didn't matter. But if you're trying to attract new customers but giving your games to the people where you're trying to cut away from them, you're just kind of, their strategy makes no sense. Like, it's not going to work. So, but they certainly have to cut deeply in order to get financially right again. And I'll always lament their squandering of the Activision deal, just in at least keeping the talent there to help them through they would have been perfect for a time like this.
Sure. Yeah.
And they were just too prideful and stupid. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll have to read about this when we're done here. I haven't seen any. I mean, I woke up, I took the dogs for a walk. I dicked around the garden a little bit. And that's basically it. The garden's looking good.
Nice.
I'm happy with it.
Do you think there's so much hope now there is like some upward momentum, it seems like, for Xbox, or it seemed like that for a while. Let's say you were CEO of Xbox right now, what would you do? Your task is to save the brand. You have to say, so you can't like quit, you can't like set it all off. You can't become a publisher. You have to save the console. You have to save the Helix. What will you do?
You can't. I mean, I would just, I don't know. I mean, I understand the question, but to me, if I were being interviewed for it, I'd be like, you can't release hardware.
Okay.
It's over.
Yeah.
You can have a service. You can also have a storefront, and you can hope for the best. But I think we all know that since you're going to have to let Steam in on your OEM, that people are going to buy games from Steam, and not you.
Yeah, of course.
And by the way, your own games will be available at Steam, and you'll only get 70% of it. It's like a total death march. That's the way I would have, if I were being interviewed. I understand the question, and I guess there are things you could do. Like, if Microsoft's willing to lose billions of dollars, they can subsidize the console. If they want to sell Xbox Series for Grand Theft Auto, then subsidize it to $300.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
willing.
yeah.
That would be financially suicidal for them to do, especially with if the Xbox was new and it was make or break, and like we got to get this thing out there. It's like, well, it's done what it's going to do now. It's over.
What?
And if these prices keep up, it's just about over for PS5 as well. I think the only advantage they have is that Wolverine and then later Grand Theft Auto come out, and then probably some big games. But I mean, they're not going to sell that many units comparable to. I mean, PlayStation's American sales were the lowest for a May since the PlayStation 1 era. It's serious. That's a seriously bad situation for them. I mean, that's including the PS3. That's including, I mean, remarkably May 2008, which was awful. I don't even have to look. May 2007, which was even worse. So yeah, I don't know, man.
It's becoming an unaffordable hobby at a certain point. At least, even to me. Like if the next round of consoles are going to be $1,000, I'm not. That's not happening for me either. I'll stick to PC then.
Yeah, I mean, it will. I will buy it. I can afford it, but also I do try to remind people that like I wasn't very. I would have bought things that I couldn't afford when I had no money. So like sure. If I was that into a video game console, like the only reason I could avoid buying a PS3 for so long was because I had access to as many PS3s as I want at IGN. I basically just took one. You know,
sure.
Otherwise, I would have overpaid for that too.
If I didn't have a PC, I would buy one too. But yeah, it's dire, man. $1,000. That's so much money for a console. That's so much money. If they have like a great lineup at the start, but you can't even promise that. So yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see.
Sorry, hold on a second. Okay, we have one more inquiry.
Sure.
And let's see. Here it is. Nick Dobie says, Colin, ever hang at Sports Plus? Any stories? I saw you have a Mega Man avatar on PSN, but not the 8-bit versions. Mine is the 8-bit Dr. Wily. What happened? That I've had that Mega Man avatar for. I think that comes from the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1, so that would be 2015. So that's been my avatar forever. I love that. I love that. That is the 8-bit Mega Man. That's just the art for the 8-bit Mega Man. Sports Plus sounds so familiar. I looked it up here. It sounds so familiar. Yeah, like roller rinks. I think I did go to this at one point. It's in Lake Grove. Yeah. Gosh, this sounds so familiar. Why am I? Yeah, I don't know. That's a deep cut. I'm gonna have to really kind of ponder that for a little while. But I appreciate you writing it. All right, we've been going long enough. It's time to go.
I promised your wife I would say Bubba Burgers, but I don't know. I still don't know what they are.
Oh, Bubba Burgers. They're like aren't they like the frozen burger patties that you buy in the store? You wouldn't know, I guess, but I thought I guess. I thought that. Why did she want you to say that?
I don't know. There was a show where it got mentioned. I think someone said, yeah, it has to be. So maybe it was Defining Duke. I don't know. There was a show where it got mentioned, but I don't understand what it is. I don't understand what Bubba Burgers are.
They're just Bubba Burgers are popular flash frozen preformed burger patties made from 100% USDA choice chuck or Angus beef with absolutely no fillers, additives, or artificial ingredients. Designed to be cooked straight from the freezer without thawing. They're highly convenient and ready in about 10 minutes. I mean, I thought that's what they were because I feel like I bought them. They are pretty nice, big ones, not some cheap, shoddy burger.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay, good.
I don't know what that's all about though. I can't begin to describe to you the things that Micah feels or says. You know? All right, Locke. Do we have anything else to say before we go?
No, thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was good. It was good to be with you. Good to see you. Thank you for your help these weeks as well. We'll continue to work together, of course. Who knows when Dustin's coming back?
Yeah.
Who knows? I kind of excited about it because I really have no expectations. It's like we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to leave him alone.
Of course. Yeah.
I think Micah talks to Holly a lot, but I don't really talk to Dustin. I don't think he needs to hear from his boss. That's probably right. Hopefully they have a little thing though, like a little shower. I don't know what you would call a little party. So we can all congregate and celebrate. Yeah. You know.
I think that happens before, no?
I think typically, yeah. But I think sometimes people do it afterwards too, like a little celebratory pre-first birthday sort of thing. So we can all get together. You know?
Yeah.
We'll see. That'll be up to him. All right. Well, appreciate all of you guys out there. Hope you enjoyed our conversation. We'll be back next week. Well, I'll be back. I won't probably clue Lockmort into this next week. We'll see. Maybe we'll be back. I have no idea. I'll worry about that Sunday at like 6 p.m. And we'll figure that out then. Thank you all out there for your love, kindness, and support. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have a great week. Be well. Treat each other with kindness. Keep your heads up. Take a shower. It's hot out there. I don't want to smell you. Take a shower. And go to the ocean. Go in the ocean. Swim. Swim in a pool. Sunbathe. It's going to be brutal out there. Have a good week. Bye. All right. We'll do this. Oh, wait a minute. I have to do this. Stream end. There we go.